This week at the House of Mario, Josh and I went hands-on with the Nintendo Switch 2 at the Melbourne Switch 2 experience, and we're here to talk all about it. So if that interests you, come on in. G'day everybody, and welcome to the House of Mario, the South Australian Nintendo podcast that is backed by a 120 Power Star rating. I'm your host, Drew Agnew, and the doors to episode 312 are open. Today on the show, very excited to talk all about our hands-on with the Nintendo Switch 2. You know, it's been years in the making, and our skin got the touch of Switch 2. Very exciting stuff. Of course, to talk all about it is my fellow Nintendo nerd. It's Josh, or JT if you like. Josh, how you going, mate?
Drew, I am so much better now for having touched a Nintendo Switch 2, playing some games on it, feeling the form factor. It's got me very, very excited for 24 days from now when we actually get to own our own. It's been a great few days.
Yeah. And I guess just before we get into that, am I still sensing that you've lost your voice a little bit?
A little, yes. It's not 100%. No. Some battle wounds from my Friday at the Switch 2 experience in Melbourne. Just yelling at the top of my lungs in one of the mini games of Super Mario Party Jamboree.
And you had your fiance, or not fiance, we went to your wedding, your wife's. You had a birthday party. Was there any sort of screaming or anything going on there, or was this all the Switch 2? That's the blame.
No, no screaming there, but I had to talk a lot to people and coordinate stuff, and so it sounded like I was losing my voice before I'd lost my voice before the party had begun, so it was pretty funny. So I had a couple of people ask, and I just said I just yelled yesterday in Melbourne at a mini game. For those who did ask, It's pretty funny. It does sound like I've gotten sick or something, or I'm hungover or something like that. But I work from home today. Didn't speak on the phone too much, but when I'm in the office tomorrow, people might start asking.
Yeah, because when we were talking just before we started the show, I'm like, Josh must have had like a pretty big weekend type of thing. But it's like, well, maybe he actually didn't, because afterwards when we were walking sort of away from like where the event was held, like my voice was hurting a fair bit too, but mine seemed to come back. I didn't have to talk as much throughout the weekend. I was just telling kids off, pretty much.
I mean, I could feel straight away after I'd done it. For those who don't know, like it's a new mini game with the Switch 2 microphone. So this is Jamboree TV section of it, and you literally had to yell as loud as possible and move around. And the Nintendo staff member who was with us, she was telling us she's going to go as loud as she can, and so she's kind of like telling us to go loud, and I'm like, well, okay, we're both like, all right, let's go. So she started it, and then like we just kept going, didn't we? We just back and forth with the volley. I was with her in a team. You were with the other staff member. It was pretty funny. Like just went out for it, and it was because it was late in the day. A lot of people had left by then, hadn't they? So we were lucky to go on the Friday when there was just media and podcasters like us, luckily to get in. But there weren't a lot of people. We were on the big screen. People could hear the yelling and see us moving around. So we got a lot of attention from it, which was pretty funny.
Yeah, well, just to anybody out there who's like, oh, well, I hope Josh won since he lost his voice. Yes, he did win.
I did win.
He certainly did. So it was worth it, absolutely.
And when we left, and because we were kind of cordoned off behind a screen, and then we re-emerged, and everyone in the expo hall was looking at us and just sort of like clapping. And it was one of those weird hysterical moments where they're just clapping at us for how well we were yelling and committed to the cause. So it's like 100 plus people just clapping, which I've never had before. So that was, getting a bit of a standing ovation. That was pretty cool. I can tick that off my bucket list.
Yeah, well, that was our favourite thing with the Switch 2, just yelling at it, and that's our thoughts. So thanks for listening, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Catch you later.
Catch you later.
Doors are closed.
That's right, they're closed. No, they're still open, everybody. There's a door stop there, don't worry. As long as you don't pull it out, it will be open. Yep. But yeah, no, it was a fantastic sort of 4 hours we got to spend with the Switch 2, and just really excited that we're invited. I don't get invited to too many things. So just the fact that we were invited by Nintendo Australia to attend the Switch 2 experience was just it was really nice. So being able to go there, it was just so much fun. I was like, I think it was just like the ideal situation where it's like I both myself and Josh were just kids in a candy store, running around just like trying a brand new Nintendo device, all the new games. It was just just very very sort of a fun atmosphere to be in. Very excited, and I can't wait to break it down for you guys and tell you guys what to expect on June 5th when you can get your own. I think for me, just the whole event, just to sum it up before we get into the nitty gritty of everything that we played and handled, was just that it's made the wait a lot longer. Like getting to go hands on with Switch 2, I'm like, wow, this is great. Now I know what I'm missing the next 20 so days from time we're recording this. So yeah, it makes that wait all that much longer. But Josh, what's your sort of first brief thoughts on the Switch 2 now that you've actually had your hands on?
Yeah, well, I'd heard so many great things from the experience from other players, and so I was like kind of hoping that I could temper those expectations and still enjoy it and have a really good time. And I just came away from it feeling really sort of vindicated that it is as good as people were saying. We were like in a waiting area, weren't we, before the official expo opened to everyone, and we're able to pick up the actual Switch that you couldn't turn on, the Switch 2, but this is our first chance to hold it. And the first thing for me was, yes, it does look bigger than the OG Switch, and it is bigger, but it's not that much heavier. I picked it up and expecting it to be a heavy thing, and it's really not. I'm curious to weigh it, like see how much of a difference it is, but it's not a heavy thing. Like I was worried some people might feel like it's a heavy thing when they play handheld mode, and you're going to feel the weight of it as they have longer gaming sessions. But I don't think that's going to really be the case. And then when I got my hands on it, just like opening, detaching, and reattaching those Joy-Con 2s to the main tablet of the Switch 2, the click's satisfying still. The magnets are great, really holds it together, and it feels sturdy, doesn't it? You're trying to like wiggle it a bit, and you can do that with the Switch 1. Those rails aren't that sturdy. There's a bit of looseness to them, but they've really fixed it here with the Switch 2. And those little divots between the Joy-Con, the top of the Joy-Con, and the tablet on the Switch 1, those divots aren't there anymore, and it's all a bit more smoother along the top there. I just like those little things were great. And so, I've come away with it just like you. Just like I'm really excited to play this thing, get this device in my hands properly, and play it for a lot longer than the little teasers we had.
Yeah. Being able to sit down with each game for about 15 minutes or 20 minutes, it was very much like, oh, can I just sit here a little bit longer? Can you unlock it for me, and I can just maybe do 4 hours in each game instead of just
longer, please.
Yeah, just let me sit here for another couple of days. That'll be nice. But yeah, like the hardware itself, I gotta say, like I've been watching a lot of content, other content creators getting their hands on with it, and it still doesn't equate to touching it yourself. And it'll be the same for people listening to this as well. Whereas like you pick it up, it's like my first sort of reaction was, ooh. It was like it feels nice to pick up, and those the buttons on the back that disengage the Joy-Con from the actual device, they're very big and they push them very easily, so it's easy to get them on and off. Like you can go on off real quick, which is great. And one of the first things I did as well is hold the Switch and wriggle that Joy-Con, because that's one of the main things I kind of want from a brand new Switch, is just like make sure these bastards don't wobble. And I've got footage of me doing it, and there is like absolute like just minimal wobble. Like it doesn't really budge at all. And I guess time will tell. Just like if we have ours for a couple of years and you see a bit of wear and tear and it starts to sort of wobble a bit like the older Switch, who knows, that might be a thing. But just from like the dummy units we got to play with, and I guess the proper units as well that we actually did play a few games on, it felt great, which is cool. It is interesting, like it just feels, with the unit being bigger as well and not having grips, there might be, I'm not sure if I'll have like a bit of fatigue in my fingers just as like for a bigger play session. Because we only got to play it maybe 15 or 20 minutes at a time. But that's where sort of grips and all that thing come into play as well. I've got a grip ready to go, so hopefully that'll alleviate some of those problems. I was looking at grips today on AliExpress. There's so many already that you can pick up, like real cheap ones, or you can get like more expensive ones from D Brand and Satisfy and all of that. So if that's an issue that you experience when you get your Switch 2, there's lots of other options you can, I guess, spend more money on to make it feel better. But comparing to stuff like Steam Deck and like the ROG Ally and stuff, like they've already got their shape. So if you don't like it, there's not really much you can do about it. But at least with the Switch being flat, it can be small if you want to fit it in like a small bag, but you can make it bigger and give it the handles and everything you want, which is kind of cool. The actual device itself feels quite premium, and I'm really excited to add it into my video game library amongst all my other stuff, which would be great. Because like even though like I play on PS5 and that, like this feels like a really like up-to-date premium device, which you would expect. It is very expensive. It's $700. It's coming out in 2025. These are all things I guess you would expect, but I'm definitely impressed with what I felt.
Yeah, and I mean, for me personally, I've had that original Switch since day one. I'm still using it. This feels like a massive upgrade. Absolutely, like for me, it's huge. So I haven't had an OLED. I haven't done the mid-generation upgrade. It's been a long time between drinks for me getting something new, and this feels like this is the next iteration of the Switch. This is the actual sequel to it, and it feels great. I know it's an LCD screen, but it's got that LCD technology is obviously improved in the last 8 years since the original Switch, and it looks pretty well on par with the OLED. I know some of the colors might not be as vibrant, but the display looks really great still. We were able to play in a different range of gameplay modes, didn't we? From docked to handheld. We did some tabletop, but not a lot with the Welcome Tour. But outside of that, got to play in all those different ways, and it does feel substantial, the upgrade. Yeah,
for sure. Like, I guess let's talk about the screen. Let's sort of break down some of these features, like across the screen and the controls and all of that.
Yeah.
To anybody that's maybe listened to a couple of episodes of this podcast and know how I feel about screens and OLED and all this type of thing, I've always been like, once I've gone OLED, I really haven't wanted to go back. Even to the extent where I want to put like an OLED screen in my Switch Lite. I want to like, if I was going to get a TV, there'd be no way I wouldn't get OLED. I'm just kind of an OLED man now. Like, even with like the original Steam Deck, when it came out, I'm like, it looks cool, but the screen was pretty bad in the original Steam Deck. So I'm like, look, I'm not going to use it because the screen's that bad. But as soon as the OLED one comes out, I'm like, all right, now's the time. So obviously, even before the Switch 2 was known, just the fact that it was rumored not to have an OLED screen, I'm like, oh damn it! Like it's going to be a massive step back. But it wasn't until like the PS Portal I got that, and that has a really nice LCD screen. I'm like, so there is hope. It just depends on the quality of the screen and how it's calibrated and all of that. And I'm really happy to say that honestly, when I was playing games, I didn't really notice all that much. Now we were in like, conditions that we might not be in when we're usually playing, like really lightly lit situation. Whereas like, the screen was pretty reflective, all the lights on the roof and everything. And you had to be at a certain angle to like maybe see it without those reflections. So I guess it does reflect a fair bit if you're wanting to play outside or whatever. But I was playing specifically Tears of the Kingdom. It was like the opening sequence where you come out the inside area and you come out onto like the opening islands, and like seeing those like autumn trees, the sky, all of that. It looks beautiful. I'm like, this kind of without my Switch OLED next to it, I'm very happy with what I'm seeing. The only time I think, honestly, people are going to be disappointed in a non-OLED screen on the Switch 2 is just the blacks. So if you're playing a darker game, if you're playing something like Downwell, for example, where it is just a black and white game, you probably will notice on something like that.
Yeah.
But for like Tears of the Kingdom or, any Nintendo game, you probably will just notice when it's like a darker area. That's when you will notice things. Because instead of all the pixels turning off in an OLED, it is just still lit pixels on the screen. So yeah, I was very happy with the screen. I've kind of got no complaints with the screen, which is really good. And obviously the update to 1080p from 720 is very, very welcome as well, because when I got my Asus ROG Ally a couple of years ago, that doesn't have an OLED screen, but it does have 1080p, and even on a small display like these handhelds, it makes a big difference. Just like you can put your eye right up to the screen and not really see any pixels, which is really cool. So we're going to be getting that with Nintendo games now, which is obviously very cool.
Right. Yes.
Very nice. Yeah. So yeah, the screen looks awesome. I'm very happy with it. The only sort of question I had was when we walked up to Welcome Tour and a couple of other games, I'm like, that screen looks kind of dull. Like, I had no idea whether it was at max brightness or not, because we can't go into any settings or anything. There's no way of checking it. But there could be the potential for maybe it not being super bright, but that might just have been that game as well. Like, there's not really well justifying it, or like validating it. But yeah, when I was playing Tears of the Kingdom, it was bright enough. It met my whatever mental limit I was looking for when it came to screen brightness. So yeah, I think it was just maybe those particular Switch units over there that weren't maxed out or whatever. But yeah, I'm really happy with it, and I could imagine coming from an original Switch, because the original Switch, which I think is why it scared a lot of people that this wasn't OLED. The original Switch had an awful LCD screen. It was a bad LCD screen. So when we jumped to a good OLED screen, it was pretty much night and day comparing the two. So yeah, comparing a original Switch to a Switch 2, both LCD, just the quality is just night and day as well, which is good. I'm glad it's not like just a throwaway cheap LCD screen they're putting on to save a bit of money, because like I said, $700 here in Australia, it's we need it to have a good screen.
It's a big investment. You want to make sure there's some quality to it, and yeah, it felt that is the case. So it's great. What do you think of the colours and the inverted way they've done? It's black predominantly, but under the joysticks you see a bit of colour there. Then when you take off the Joy-Cons, there's a bit of colour there. Kind of the opposite approach to what the Switch One had.
Yeah, I love it. I loved it since they first showed it, like when they sort of done a little teaser of Switch 2 before the big direct. I kind of really liked it, because like on the original Switch, I loved the neon colours. So I kind of like that they've sort of, dulled it down a bit. They've made it look really nice and sleek, just like the same colour across the whole board. But yeah, with the left being blue and the right being orange, and having it sort of accented on the stick and in the inside, it looks really nice. And I like that you can tell the difference between the controllers if you want to do sort of the tabletop mode, hand it to one another, but also still have it like look nice and sleek, which is really good. Yeah. Do you like the sort of the colours they did, or would you rather it just a bit of black in there, or what are you thinking?
I like the more subtle way they've done the colours. I think it makes it look really snazzy and sleek as a device. But with a bit of Nintendo adding that color, because you look at the other handheld gaming PCs and they're all black and very dark, and this is a hardcore gaming. Where this is it's like there's a slight Nintendo fun added to it. I know it's not the bright Joy-Cons that we're used to, but there's still a bit of color there, and it looked great in person. I suppose just the thing for me was just like it looks cool in the photos, but seeing it up close and personal and looking through it. Now, I really like it, and then you can add the the grip. I don't know what you call it, the straps onto the Joy-Con 2s to help you with the mouse mode. And that's a bit more color to that as well. So, but yeah, I like the more subtleness of it.
Yeah, I do too, and I'm glad that I like it because I wouldn't want to be waiting for any more colors, considering how expensive these goddamn things are.
Well, I wonder how soon they'll announce one. Whether we're, soon after the launch, whether they'll start announcing here's a, if you want a second set of Joy-Cons.
Of course they will. Yes, of course they will.
I was going to say it has to be soon.
Yeah,
it begins,
I hope I don't like any. I hope there isn't like a color where I'm like, that looks awesome.
All right, what colors would get you to buy it?
I don't know. I just love.
I just want to see, and I'm going to mark you later when it comes up.
Yeah, I don't know, like a nice deep dark red, like House of Mario red. Like that's my favorite color.
Metroid ones, I'd be all over that.
Yeah, that's right. There's obviously the franchise ones where it's just like, hey, look, these are Mario ones or these are Zelda ones.
There'll be Metroid ones, the mouse mode, won't they? Surely now.
See, that'd be sick. That'd be
sick.
Yeah, but also like it kind of messes with that kind of aesthetic that I really like. I like it just being it all one solid color. So if you slap on like a Samus orange on one side and like a Metroid logo purple on the other side, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I like the look of that either.
To it, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
My cake and eating it too, I know.
Yeah. Don't know. Maybe if you put it in that like the Joy-Con grip and you keep it as one controller for whatever reason. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know.
Or maybe you just keep it in your pocket. So it's just like you got your Switch 2 out and someone's like, oh, can I play some Smash or, Mario Kart World would be a better example, I guess. So can I play some Mario Kart World? It's like, oh, look, I've only got the two controllers. Like, psych, in your back pocket. You got an extra couple. You just got Joy-Cons everywhere. You're like, go gadget, but you're like, go Joy-Con man. I don't know. Give me that. But
yeah, maybe that.
We don't have to worry about that. I'm spending a lot of money on accessories and stuff at the moment, so
yes
don't want to have to think about how much are Joy-Con here. Are they $160 for a pair?
I don't know.
Is that how much they are?
It's a lot.
It's, dumb amount. I mean, but I do really like the Joy-Con 2s, Josh. They feel great. We'll talk more about the Pro Controller stick, but that stick, it does feel pretty much the same on the Joy-Con 2, which is great. It's just a little bit less noticeable just because the Joy-Con 2 sort of stick isn't as tall, so you don't notice it as much. But yeah, I really like it. It's a bit bigger, so it makes it feel a lot closer to like a more traditional controller. It doesn't feel like a little nub. Because at the time, the Switch's Joy-Con, it felt like a great stick because I was like comparing it to like the PS Vita, which had little tiny sticks. And then at the time of the PS Vita, that felt great compared to like the PSP, which just had like a little slider. So sticks have like slowly been getting bigger and bigger. And we do have stuff like Steam Deck in that now, which just has normal size sticks. But I do really like the sticks just on the Switch too. They're not too big, like where you won't be able to fit it into a bag where it like will be pressing up against it. But it's also, they're not too small. And even to the point where I've never enjoyed using the Joy-Con in the grip that comes with like the console. As soon as I got my Switch in 2017, I put him into that thing. I'm like, this is awful. And I pretty much threw that thing away. It was in a drawer. I barely ever used it. And if I ever used Joy-Con, it was just like split, one in each hand. But I feel like with the sticks, how they are now, and the grip, how it feels, I think that feels great to use it because there was a few demos that was set up just with the Joy-Con grip. So I really like that. Do you have any sort of comments on, I guess, using the Joy-Cons in the grip? Is that something that you've liked using on Switch as is, or?
Yeah, I don't use the grip a lot, and it's more so with multiplayer when I've got friends over.
It's the friend controller, for sure.
It is. And so I used it a bit when, because we had the initial Grand Prix in Mario Kart World that we were in that room first to play it, and there were no Pro controllers there. So if we were going to play on the TV, we had to use the Joy-Cons in the grip, and it felt nicer than the Switches in a grip, the Switch ones in a grip. It's just bigger and just felt like there was more to hold on to. Didn't feel as the Joy-Cons on the original Switch are a bit smaller, but this one felt, the proportions felt nicer. So I really enjoyed using it, and I think the sticks worked great. I had no no critiques on those at all. So yeah, it will be, while we've got the choice and we can use the Pro controllers from Switch 1 still, I wouldn't be feeling bad at all if I had to use the Switch Joy-Con 2, in a grip instead, playing a Mario Kart World.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just that if you look at the Switch 2 Pro controller and be like, oh, what a waste of money. Like, I'm not spending $120 on a controller. Like, I'm spending, like, a lot of money. Like, you don't want to if you don't want to, like, spend over $1,000 just on your hardware and accessories. I think you'll be fine with the Joy-Cons. I really do. Someone who absolutely hated it on Switch 1, I think you'll be fine. At least, maybe save up over the next months or whatever to eventually get a Pro controller if you don't feel happy enough with it. But yeah, certainly for like the next few months, I think you'll be fine with it, playing Mario Kart World and Donkey Kong with that setup. And it's definitely helped as well because everything is just a bit bigger. Like the buttons are bigger. They feel really nice. The buttons on the Joy-Con, I really, really quite like them. I don't know how to describe them. Like they feel like a bit mushier and a bit clickier at the same time. They feel maybe similar to like the Pro controller buttons on your Pro controller, like on Switch 1, but with maybe like a little bit less travel and obviously not as big. They kind of feel more reminiscent of that controller rather than like the Joy-Cons at the moment. Because like the Joy-Con buttons, they're nice, but they're just pretty small, like small and clicky. Whereas these ones like maybe a little bit more mushy. And I don't know.
Yeah,
I was just very happy with everything. Like it all felt very nice. Like
it did
touching it, yeah. And
it did. It's much better. It is better.
Yeah. And I don't know. Do you have much to say about like the HD Rumble? The HD Rumble felt good, but I remember it feeling quite good in the Switch 1 as well. Back playing like 1-2 Switch and everything back on launch day, and not really interacting with it much since.
Well, I've never played 1-2 Switch, but played a bit of Welcome Tour, and I did the whole Maracas game where it was like Maracas, you shake that and then you can swap to Rubber Bowl. And I was really surprised by the Rubber Bowl. I'm like, oh, this feels like a rubber bowl in there. So I mean, I don't have anything to compare it to on the Switch 1. I don't know if the Switch can do this rubber bowl thing, but I was shaking around. Oh my God, that actually feels like it's there. So I was very impressed by it actually.
Yeah. Well, 1-2 Switch, it was like you could feel an ice cube like slide from side to side, and then there was a mini game like how many ice cubes are in the Joy-Con at the moment, and you could like feel around and feel them like, oh yeah, there's 1, 2, like you can sort of work out how many are in there just by feeling it. So I remember that feeling like really accurate and just kind of surprising back then. So the idea of like it changing from like a bunch of little like balls to like one big rubber ball, I'm like, yeah, well, it feels great. It kind of feels like I remember it feeling, but I'd have to break out the 1-2 Switch again and play with the ice cubes to kind of remember, because it's been a long time. Like, I really don't remember interacting with HD Rumble on the Joy-Cons all that much. Like, there was like a couple of things, like maybe footsteps and pitter-patters here and there, and there was Mario Wonder, which the vibration kind of did like songs from like elements of the levels and things like that. But it wasn't really stuff like that all heavily involved in gameplay, like with the all-time classic 1-2 Switch. That was what a great game! What a great game!
So good, eh?
Yeah, I had my fun with it. I honestly did have my fun with 1-2 Switch. Did I get my $70 worth? Debatable. Debatable.
Yes,
but yeah, if you're very happy with the Joy-Con too, and it's got like it's got basically like the same finish on it. Like it's got that sort of like the Joy-Cons at the moment. They got like a nice sort of, I don't know, like a grippy sort of texture to it. And I was sort of feeling the Switch too. It's got like the same finish across the Switch too as well, across the back. So like it's just got that nice sort of premium feel, similar to what we're going to talk about with the Pro controller. And it all just feels great. I'm very happy with it. And like we said before, like the way they come on and off the Switch to itself, it's really cool. Like I could sit there. It's a good like fidget toy, honestly. Like if you're sat there and you're not even playing Switch 2, you're watching TV, or the Switch 2's flat and you just need to entertain yourself, I don't know. It's kind of like a cool little fidget toy, just on, off. It's really kind of cool. I don't know if I just feel that way because we played with a unit which was literally dead, and that's all we could do with it. But yeah, it was just kind of satisfying to click on and off.
It was satisfying. The clicking was great. That switch to like noise is still there, locks into place. I think it's more satisfying than the original Switch.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I guess just to clarify as well, we weren't able to go into the home menu. We weren't able to activate game chat. We couldn't do any of those fun buttons that are on the controllers at all. So we couldn't go into any of that.
Them just in case, but
I did
happened.
too. I actually got myself in trouble because I was playing Tears of the Kingdom, and I was, I'm playing the opening area of Tears of the Kingdom. I've got a stick. I'm just going. After about 5 minutes, I'm like, all right, I'm going to spend the time I've got with the Switch 2 here and just look at it and sort of try and find, I'm just looking at the back of it and just sort of doing everything but playing the game. And I pressed the power button. I just wanted to see like how long it takes to go off, how long it takes to come back on. And turns out these demo units, when you press the power button, it resets it, and then they've got to put in the admin password again. I'm like, oh god. So
Oopsie.
I was very embarrassed that these this poor Nintendo staff came over and they're like very very stressed. Like, oh god, like what's the password again? I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
So that's when I'm like, all right, I'll go and play a different demo. So I went over to a Breath of the Wild station set up on the TV and continued on there. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just very like, once I actually got to play with the hardware, Josh, it was it all felt fantastic. I'm kind of happy to just get it myself. I'm definitely happy I bought one. Anyway, that's for sure. But I guess we should talk about the Pro Controller as well. A lot of people are like, should I buy one? Do I need one? And I'm kind of biased in some ways because I've never had a Switch without a Pro Controller. And when I remember my friend Dan, I remember finding out he's just like been playing with the Joy-Con grip the whole time. I'm like,
the entire time.
I'm like, really? He's like, oh look, I just don't want to spend $100 on a controller. I'm like, 100% understand, but really, you've been playing Mario Odyssey and everything on the TV with a Joy-Con grip. Like, Christ, Smash Brothers. This is what you've been playing with, man. Oh God. Yeah. And also, I've got no issue with spending money on controllers. I've got a problem. No. I'm like the opposite end of the spectrum. I get it. But I'm certainly happy that I've pre-ordered a Switch 2 Pro controller. And because, there's a lot of reasons why you could just save money and just use your standard Pro controller. But the first game we got to use it with was Mario Kart World playing Knockout Tour. And like picking it up, it feels very similar to a Pro controller, but it just like straight off the bat, it has that real nice finish, just like a nice sort of rubbery, sort of textured grip, which I really like. And I've actually got it I've reshelled one of my Pro controllers from Extreme Rate, and it's got like the same finish, which is pretty cool. But also the Pro controller too, it just has like less seams. So like, for example, on this Pro controller, it's got like, the seams where the handles are. So like, 2 bits of plastic they go on. And it just doesn't have that. So you don't have that sort of feeling of where the plastic joins on like the end of your thumb, which just adds to the comfort, I think. It just adds to like the premium feel of it. It doesn't feel like something that's just being put together, which I really liked. But the main thing we've got to talk about, Josh, when it comes to the Pro Controller, is the sticks. And I asked for some questions in the House Mario Discord, and one was from Levanede, who asked, like, what do people mean when they say that the Pro Controller has smooth gliding sticks? And it honestly is kind of something that I don't really know how to explain. But I'm going to try and explain it, Josh, and you sort of pick up the slack if I miss anything or you think you can word it any better than I can. But it's just like when you move the stick, in some controllers, you can hear like a bit of a, like where the plastic is sort of meeting the plastic above it. And like you can sort of feel it like wanting to drag it back into the center where like the stick is, like the dead zone. And when you do the stick around in the 360 motion, you can sort of hear it go, like going against the other plastic. Whereas on like the Pro Controller, for whatever reason, when you're just moving it, there's no tension to snap it back. And of course, when you do let go of it, it snaps back. It is like a really nice adjusted stick. but it's just there's no pullback at all on it. And when like it's gone like right to the edge, I don't know. It's just, I think like when people are saying it just feels smooth, like that is ultimately what it feels like. It's just like a really smooth feeling stick. It is hard to explain.
Yeah, it's Hall effect, isn't it? Like, so it's just
No, it's not Hall effect. I think that's something that a lot of people are disappointed about, especially with the Joy-Con, because of the Joy-Con drift issue that just was really bad on Switch 1. But I'm not too worried about the lack of Hall effect. And just for those that don't know, Hall effect is just a different technology that is used in analog sticks that utilizes magnets rather than like just analog, like bits of plastic rubbing against each other. I think there's a few reasons why Hall effect wouldn't be in these. It's just purely because like the magnets, especially on the Joy-Con, the magnets probably will interfere with the magnets in the Hall effect sticks. And I think probably the main reason is just like Hall effect. It's a technology that's not developed by Nintendo, so they would have to pay rights for every Hall effect stick they make, which you know what Nintendo's like. Like they didn't use Blu-rays on Wii U; they used their own special DVD technology just so they didn't have to pay Sony. So you know, yeah, you can see why they wouldn't do Hall effect sticks. But everybody's just got their fingers crossed that these things won't drift. But I don't know. How would you explain the sticks on the Pro Controller? Because I don't know. It's just like they do just feel, they just glide really well when you're using them.
I mean, gliding was the word I was thinking of. It just glided across. Yeah, hard to like. I went back and sort of played around with like one of the Pro Controllers I have now, and it's not too different, but you can feel it.
Yeah,
the resistance, and this is just subtly less so, and you just get to glide around a bit more. It's not a huge difference or anything like that. I don't know if it's like, oh my god, I'm going to play these games so much better now because of it. But
no.
it just feels nicer, really. And you know that matte sort of covering feels a bit more warmer when you put the first touch to it. These can feel a bit cold to the touch. Yeah, I just really like that feel of the new Pro Controller. So it's just the subtle things, and you know, the buttons on the back as well. You know, it ain't broke what we currently have now with the current Pro Controller, but they've just added a few things to make it that little bit better. And yeah, so I'm here for it.
Yeah, me too. And like the GL and GR buttons, the buttons in the back,
Yes.
we couldn't use them. They weren't assigned to anything, but honestly, they're fun little things to fidget with just while you're playing the game. And like you could just like click in them out, and they also like they won't get in the way. Like for how I hold a controller anyway, like they're flush with the controller. So for me anyway, I know some people might hold it a little bit more tightly or a little bit more different or whatever, but I know for me, like yeah, they felt like in a great spot, just where I can like if I'm going to utilize it, just do it, and I can see myself using it for like maybe running or something in Tears of the Kingdom or just something like that, something that. Where I don't want to take my thumb off the stick and do it that way, because I've come to like them quite a bit on PS5. So yeah, I'm looking forward to mapping them in each game and seeing what I can do. Because like even in like simple things like when I'm playing Atelier, for example, I just like map a couple of buttons to the triggers where like I'm picking up things in the overworld, and I just do it so I don't have to pull my thumb off the right stick. Just something like that. It's not even like an action game necessarily, but it'd be cool. Yeah, don't know. They feel great. The whole controller feels good. I'm looking forward to getting it. Everything just felt like that little bit nicer, which is I guess you know what we want. And, yeah, I think for people when they first get your hands on it and you feel the sticks, you're like, oh okay, that's what everybody means when they mean like smooth gliding sticks. Because yeah, we haven't really had like a controller that like has mentioned it before. Like Nintendo's like, yeah, look, we put a lot of effort into the sticks to make them smoother. I was like, okay, what do you mean by that? But yeah, they certainly feel great. So
yeah,
feel good about your Pro Controller pre-order if you've got one.
Yeah, that's right. I do definitely.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so Yes, the hardware feels great. Let's talk about the games, Josh. I'll let you start wherever you want to start. I think, I guess Mario Kart's probably a good place to start. I probably should start there. It's
Mario
the
Kart's
first
a
one
big
we
I
played.
feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like the first game we played, we come through the doors, we're in a bit of a line, and we went into this room just full of Mario Kart demos, and there was Nintendo staff at each TV, and we sat down. Josh and I sat down at the same TV, and at that TV there was two Joy-Con grips and two just Switch 2s to pick up and play in handheld mode as well. So Josh and I, we played a game of Mario Kart World together, just to start off just on like a normal race, a 3-lap race. And yeah, I quite liked it. Josh, you start off. What were your thoughts on Mario Kart World?
Yeah, so we obviously got to play the Grand Prix mode at first. Like it was slightly jarring in a way because we had it was 100cc, so I'm used to 150, and then it had auto steer on, and so like I've done it before accidentally. The auto steer, I don't like it on, and it's obviously something for people who aren't as familiar with the game that they can turn on and utilize. And so, so the first thing was like, yeah, this feels like moving around. Yep, it feels just like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. No real difference there. Maybe the drifting slightly different.
Yeah, I was thinking
like
about it. I think that. Yeah. Sorry, I was thinking like it takes longer to charge up, but I think that might be just a result of playing on 100cc just being slower. Because I don't know if I've ever Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I don't know if I've ever played anything under 150, because for like the GP Cups, you don't have to play 50 or 100cc. Like if you play 150cc, you just unlock those stars anyway. So it's probably, it might have been like 15 years or something since I've played.
Yeah, it might have been
under that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the only thing when playing. It was just like, okay, I know this is slightly different to what I'm used to. But the movement and the controls, all like, that's a Nintendo made game. It's got that quality to it. The visuals were great. I just really enjoyed it's kind of like sort of taking it all in, doing that first race, watching the water ripple through. I think I mentioned to you, I like it now that we're on top of the water, not underwater. I've never really enjoyed the underwater courses or anything like that, but I like being on top of it, and as a blue shell or something explodes, the waves ripple through, and that affects the races further down the course there. And so it just looks really vibrant. It really pops out. It just looks like a really, nice looking game. They've done a lot of work with the character models. I selected DK as my character. I just had to. I love the redesign of him. So it was, I really, really loved it. I just thought, they've done such a great job here, making it look really nice and specky.
It's interesting playing it in that setting too, because it's like, all right, we're here, like it's all excitement sort of at the event, and sitting down with the game for the first time. Nintendo Australia actually showed us like an Australian commercial that was launching later that day. So they made us watch. They made us watch that. We're like, oh, okay, cool. Then we get to pick up the controller for the first time, and it's kind of like with the 24 players, like a rolling start, it's go, and it's just all chaos. And my first thought is just like, oh god, it's on. Like there wasn't that much time to really take it in. There's just so much going on. Like it's Mario Kart times 2, like literally just the amount of players, everything going on. So as we're going throughout the course, we played on a course that integrated like that. What's that Nintendo 64 battle stage called? Like donut something. I can't remember. Anyway,
yes. Yep.
You know what I'm talking about? The fire level that's a circle.
I can't remember
So like when we come across that, I'm like, oh cool, it's there. And then we like went up into the sky and also I'm like, this level's nuts. Like it's there's a lot of crazy levels in Mario Kart 8, but this one was like, holy shit, like there was just so much going on, and we're flying here, we're going up there, and I'm trying to like use the different mechanics I've been watching in like the Nintendo Directs, like holding in the hop button to do like a hop and get a boost, and you can use that hop to grind on rails and all that type of thing, then jump onto walls. I'm trying to do that, but also like the smart steering's holding me back quite a bit. Like it wouldn't let me hop onto rails and things. Like I don't know whether I just wasn't doing it properly or what have you. But yeah, I was trying to work out things, and I don't know. I didn't have too much time to sort of soak it all in. Then it was just like, holy shit, there's just so much going on. But it was a lot of fun. Like bound to finally play it, and then playing in handheld mode as well. You know, obviously, bit of a small screen. It was just nice. That was the first time I was able to see the Switch 2 screen on. So yeah, a lot of it was sort of like looking at it, and, all right, trying to work out whether I was happy with it at the time as well. Like, oh yeah, is that just a good LCD screen? But yeah, I think it wasn't until we got to play Knockout Tour. So we left the area and then we went to go and play Knockout Tour in a different area. And there was a bloke there who was doing the announcing. He was treating it like it was a big championship race and all that. It was a lot of fun anyway. And we start queuing up for that. And when we get in, we just drive around a bit in the free play mode. And yeah, it was interesting because like we just sort of drove around just waiting for a race. So we didn't really have any intention or anything to explore or whatever, but just driving around, it was a bit like, all right, I found some costumes and things like that. But yeah, I do hope when it was like the single player free reign mode that some more points of interest pop up. We know about the P blocks and the coins and everything you can find, but hopefully, yeah, there's a little bit more, because I remember you saying, Josh, it's kind of like just driving around, just sort of, you're kind of just cutting laps and doing donuts and shit until you're waiting for the race to start.
Yeah, I mean, full disclosure, we were at the front of the line, so we had to wait the longest for the race to begin. But yeah, it just felt like, oh, is there more to it, or is it literally you just run around? Can you do things? And I didn't find costumes like you did. Or maybe I did find one. I don't.
Yeah, I found a fair few actually. Because I did like a lap of the racetrack we were about to do, but then I'm like, all right, that's enough, and I just sort of like drifted right off of it, fell onto the ground, and like went off on my own way, which is pretty cool. And I found like a bunch of those takeaway bags that you find, and none of them were at like a traditional like pit stop that you saw in the trailers. Like they were like in an alleyway and in a tunnel and all this. They're like a little bit out the way. And like when you get them, it sort of cycles through the foods, and then it lands on one and it trails behind you. Then you use it and it activates the costume, which is pretty cool. I got to see a few Mario costumes. That's who I was playing with at the time. So that was pretty neat. So yeah, I think like the collectibles and things would be pretty fun in the free play mode. But yeah, maybe for like people like me who are hoping for like more of a Forza Horizon, probably not getting that in the free play mode. But yeah, I don't know. There's DLC. There's heaps of chances for like that stuff to beef up. Yeah,
quite know the whole picture, I feel, so there might be more to come. Yeah, and usually the waiting time might be a bit smaller than what we had to do.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, we got to talk about Knockout Tour, Josh. This mode was fun, and like especially playing it in the setting we did, like with an announcer and you know a bunch of other people in the same room playing it. I was like, as the countdown was going down, I was like, oh, like I was getting a little bit nervous. Hands are getting a bit sweaty. I'm like, all right, it's time to jump in, and it was so much fun. The tension, the whole race was crazy. And I think the most memorable thing from maybe the whole event was just like when I was in 5th place and I could see in front of me 4 other characters, rather spaced out. You know, it looks like a normal Mario Kart race. And I pressed the X button. I looked behind me, and it's like a horde of just go-karts. And there's items, like I'm behind me, there's like someone with like 3 red shells, someone's got a mega mushroom plowing through everyone, piranha plants, just everything. Like it looks like imagine being chased by a horde of zombies and you look behind you and they're like, coming after you. That's what it felt like playing Mario Kart World. It was crazy because like you feel relatively safe when you're looking in front of you, but behind you there is another 19 characters just gunning for your position to try and make sure they don't get knocked out. It was crazy. It really was crazy. Just the amount of chaos put into this mode, and like just the desperation when you get to every finish line too. Like I guess the whole course is cut into four. Is it like basically cut into quarters? Like if you don't meet the first one, which is, what is it? Is it 16? You got to be above 16th place.
It started off for 24 races. So it had to be the top 20, then 16, 12.
Oh, that's right. I missed 20. Yeah.
8.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So I think that's a lot of fun, and like it was a lot of fun just to watch people's gameplay, coming out of these events. And it's even more fun, obviously, playing it for yourself. It's a lot of fun. And like, Josh, you were the most successful out of the two of us. You made it to like the very end. I got knocked out before the last segment of the race. I was fifth and I needed to be at least fourth. So I like just missed out. I was like, it's like coming up to it too. I can see I'm fifth and I'm just like, especially on 100cc, I'm just like slowly putting towards the finish line. I'm like, there's nothing I can do. I don't have anything. I don't have a mushroom. I got nothing. So yeah, you admit defeat maybe like 5 seconds or 10 seconds before like it actually happens. I'm like, yeah, it's not happening for me today. But
No.
yeah, you made it to the very end. How did you go?
Yeah, this was definitely my favorite part of the experience. Yeah, I just loved the setup for it. So that's 16 TVs, so you could have 16 people. So that's a bit of like CPU action going on as well. And in fact, they had someone live commentating it as well. There was a bit of buzz around it whenever one of these knockout tour races was on. It was an absolute roller coaster because I started near the back. I got a few mushrooms. I was able to get to the front, and then I got hit twice, and I was last again. And so, like, I'm literally feeling like I'm, just holding on, and just like there were a couple of times when I would have been near the close, like to the end of getting eliminated, but I managed to just hang on. And so I just kept like catapulting to like near the lead, then going back a lot of places, back and forth. But I was always able to sort of get past the checkpoint and continue on. So it's kind of exhilarating. You're really like you focus, and the way the tracks sort of meld together is pretty cool and seamless. And so it went for about 7-8 minutes, I reckon, in total.
A long time.
6 segments, and I liked it because it felt like oh crap, I got to at first I thought I've really got to hurry up and get to each segment in time, but it feels like there's enough time for you. If you've got some skill and some strategy, you can claw your way back. It never felt like a checkpoint was too soon and like, oh, I've got unlucky on this one item that I got hit by, I'm done, and that was the reason. It kind of felt like, no, you've got a few chances to sort of redeem yourself, and with some good skill, you can get yourself back up there and moving again. And so that was great. And then to get to the end, I was like, I had moments where I was leading the pack a lot, managed to get to the top 4, and so it was just like get to the end and be first. And so it was 4 of us. Managed to overtake someone to get into second, and then I got a double item box. I got a feather and a red shell. The feather didn't do me any good really at that stage. And then I fired a red shell at the leader. Managed to hit them. This is like 10 meters away from the line, thinking I've done enough to overtake them, and then I get hit by something. And then I come third in the end. And so it was pretty like, I've recorded it and it's on YouTube for those wondering. It's like a 5-minute video of me just sort of racing and the whole reaction to it. But it was pretty exhilarating. And so I'm like, oh man, if this is just a taste of it, like I'm pretty keen to sort of do it more often and then try and get that victory and sort of like prove myself from that point of view. And so I can definitely see this being the big mode and the one that everyone plays and it wants to keep coming back to more and more. And so, that sold me enough on Mario Kart. Well, like, yeah, I want to get it to play this and get really good at this.
Yeah, it's going to be so much fun, dude. Just like jumping onto a voice chat with, I guess you can do 4 with video, but then you can do up to 12 players just with voice chat. So you can imagine 12 players playing in the same lobby.
Chaos.
Just all shit talking to each other. It's going to be
in the best way possible.
It's going to be so much fun. Like it's going to be a real hoot. It really is. It's going to be so much fun. I can't wait just to even sit back and just play against CPUs, dude. It's going to be great.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm so ready for a new Mario Kart. I've been ready for a little while, but yeah, actually seeing it now and getting to play it, it's great. I don't know. It feels nice. And I guess just talk about like it technically as well. Like I didn't really notice it too much, but you know, it looks great. It looks how you would expect it to look, and there was no issues with frame rate or anything like that too. So thank God for that.
Yeah.
Wouldn't want my Mario Kart World to stutter, you know?
No, you would not. Yeah, great performing mode. Yeah, like super fun. That's going to make the game right there, that mode.
I can't wait to just whiz past you and put the finger up at you, Josh.
Yeah.
Ben, just straight away,
Likewise,
red shell.
Ditto. It's on, man. It's on.
Yeah. No, you definitely pulled out the stops with Mario Kart World because like was it the first or the second race just in like the standard GP mode. I'm like, where are you, Josh? I looked over at your screen. You're coming first, and I look at the mini map, and you're like quarter of the map ahead. I'm like, how are you so far ahead? Like you're ridiculous. I was in second. I was throwing shells and everything. Like you're too far ahead. I'm like, the other like what 22 players? Can someone get a blue shell? You were so far ahead, it might not even made a difference. I don't know. It was. What did you do? Did you just get out the pack or what? What happened?
I might have. I didn't like. I was first for a lot of those and wasn't hit by like a blue shell or anything like that. I don't know. Like I look at you in Smash Bros and how good you are at that. I'm like, no, I can't do that. I'm okay at Mario Kart though. I can always give it a good race.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's good. Because yeah. I think especially with this, I think like the most thing is just getting out of that pack. It's what it is in Mario Kart 8, but I think especially with this, like, it was so funny. Like I said, just looking back and just seeing, it's like a mound of players bumping around, like just bouncing. Like I couldn't believe it. I was like, yeah, just look back. I'm like, holy shit! Like that's what's behind me. Like I'm gonna get smacked very soon. So yeah, no, Mario Kart World is fantastic. We're gonna be playing it so much over the next year. Well, I guess years. We're going to be probably playing it as long as the Switch 2 is a thing.
20 years. Here we go.
20. Don't say that. That's way too long.
15.
Give me Mario Kart Galaxy after this, you know. I want to drive around the planets in my spaceship. Don't know. Yeah. So, yeah, absolutely fantastic. All right. So, what game would you like to talk about next, Josh? We played a fair few. So, which one would you like to move to?
I was really excited to play Metroid Prime 4 Beyond.
It's
been like years in the making for me, and like to actually finally play it. It was pretty surreal actually, and great. I was pretty floored by like the Treehouse presentations, Treehouse Live, showing the opening cinematic. You know, I asked what performance mode was being used for the demos here, but they said it was just a demo version, so they didn't really answer my question. So I'm not sure exactly, but it looked amazing still. And I think the big thing for me was the seamless transition between mouse mode, which I think was really great. I was really like impressed by the mouse mode, and then just swapping. Oh, I've had enough of that. Just I want to use buttons instead, and you just do that straight away, and it works, which is great. I'm really keen to see. Firstly, I want to like first and foremost, I really wanted to get into all the settings here and just play around with it, but that wasn't possible with these demo versions, and so I want to see how sensitive I can make the joysticks when I play it, and if you know. Whether that can be the way to play it, but I was pretty impressed by the mouse controls and using that as a way to aim the gun and shoot out of her cannon like that. So, yeah, like it's shaping up to be like a really, you know, a true sequel to Corruption, being the fourth one. We saw Silex at the start there. You know, I've got a bit of an idea what probably happens from here. And I'm pretty keen to see, you know, what we have in store for Samus in their fourth Prime outing. It looks great. And so, yeah, I hope Nintendo comes to the party and really markets this game a bit better, because it's been a bit of a, I'm going to say, it's been a shit marketing campaign by them, the way they've showcased it in the Direct.
Shots fired.
It's not good. Treehouse Live, those cinematics, they should have opened with that. That would have been a great way to get some interest in this game outside of the core.
You can use your psychic powers to open doors.
Yeah, I know. It can open doors. Wow. So,
Oh.
yeah, there's a lot of potential for this game. I want to see more. Yeah, we could only play a little taster here and do the first boss, and so we were both able to do that and defeat it. So, yeah, I'm keen to see more.
Yeah, definitely. I think like this was a great sort of showcase of like the mouse controls because we got to play Drag and Drive. That was a completely unique circumstance for how to utilize the mouse controls. But this is a more traditional first-person shooter game that this is a genre that people just exclusively potentially might play on PC. Like you might play a lot of console games, but when Call of Duty or something comes out, you're like, all right, I'm playing on PC because I want that precision aiming. I want to play that way because of those controls. So having them on a console just out of the box and able to be played anywhere where you have like a surface that's suitable for it is really exciting. So like a first party demonstration of that is really neat. So yeah, I really liked it as well. Just the controls felt great, and even just like the Metroid, I guess, way of doing things where you do have a lock on, and that might not make much sense to people that play traditional first person shooters. But even like in the aspect of this, where it was like you can lock on, but then you can sort of finely aim on that enemy where to aim as well. Like even like a normal enemy, you can like aim for the head, just that little bit of adjustment. And on the boss as well, like the demo, there's a boss at the end. You probably would have seen it from other gameplay, including what was included in the treehouse. There was spots on the boss where you had to aim Samus's cannon, and you can lock on and sort of walk around without losing sight of the boss, but also like aim for the glowing spots on its chest, and they move around, and it felt great just doing that. So it's definitely probably the way I want to play. It just depends. Like, I play a lot of my console games on the couch, and doing it on my lap or my knee wouldn't be great for Metroid, spinning the camera around and all that. So we'll see how it works then. And when I'm in bed, I'm probably not doing it in bed. Maybe I just put the mouse on the mattress or something under the covers. I don't know. But it looks a bit sus as well.
Yeah, it would look a bit sus.
So, Drew, what are you up to there, mate? It's like, well, I'm playing Metroid. Of course you are.
Yeah, we talked about it to some of the staff members. I was just like, it would be great if Nintendo announce and release something I could put the Joy-Con 2 into that makes it a bit wider and more like a mouse.
Yeah.
So I think that was the only thing.
Have you been on have you been on Blue Sky? Just like Daniel from Vooks, he posted like a AliExpress accessory that he got. It is just like a shell. The Joy-Con goes in and just makes it into like a. So like there's a heap of them on like AliExpress and all of that you can get.
Yeah.
I see the one that he got was like $10, free shipping. So, I think you'll be able to get them. I reckon I'll even pick that one up because I think if I've got anything to say about using the Joy-Con as a mouse, it feels great. Like using the bumper button as the mouse click feels great. It actually has like a mouse click to the button, which feels good. And then also like you've got, I guess the ZL and ZR buttons that you use as well. That's basically like left and right click. That trigger feels like a little bit strange to use as like a mouse button, but it feels good. It feels fine enough. But the only thing is just like when you move left and right, you've really got to concentrate. Well, not really concentrate, but you do have to keep in mind just keeping that Joy-Con like upright, because like a mouse, it's wide enough where it's just left and right, up and down, and you don't really have to think about it. But if you are moving on a mouse pad, you can easily like sort of that Joy-Con can sort of tip over. So that's the only thing. So yeah, if you get like a little shell or something, I can imagine that just turning into a mouse and feeling great. But I think Nintendo, they don't really want to do that. I think they just want to keep it simple and like make it seem like you can be anywhere. You can be on the bus. You can be going to a friend's house and you just take the Joy-Con off, put it on the table, and boom, it's a mouse. Because it's a lot less elegant, having to put it into this big shell that makes it look like a mouse and all of that. I think from maybe like a more marketing perspective, they want to keep it just a bit more simple, potentially. But yeah, we'll be able to get these accessories from just everywhere. I dare say everyone will be jumping on it to make it.
I want Nintendo official ones, Drew.
I do too, for sure. Because like I want ones with like I want like a mouse sort of attachment where like it's got magnets in it, so you drop the Joy-Con, it goes chunk, like it sort of sucks it into it, rather than like this one on AliExpress. It looks like it's just a shell, so you'd be like wedging it in there with no magnets.
Correct. Something could go wrong.
Yeah.
It hasn't been tested properly. That kind of stuff.
Yeah, definitely. This is just Chinese, just a cheap thing, which might work for the meantime. I reckon I'll pick it up, just see how it goes, type of thing. It's $10. It's not.
That's right.
Won't be the end of the world of this.
What could go wrong?
What could go wrong? Yeah. I mean, I could spend that a welcome tour instead, I guess, but maybe not. But
maybe not. I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, like, yeah, it kind of just was like, not really a tech demo, but it was just like the opening of the game. So, taking down a few enemies and you beat the boss and you're kind of done. So I'm going to be very interested in just like seeing more of Metroid Prime 4 once you've actually like arrived at the planet. You've lost your powers. You are using psychic powers. You are, navigating puzzles, and the Metroidvania sort of comes in, because everything that people have played at the moment is very much like the opening to like a Halo campaign or something, with like troops running around and spaceships and explosions and all this thing. It's like it's very like action focused to start off with. So yeah, I'm interested to see when it feels a little bit more like, yeah, I guess you might expect from a Metroid Prime game. But
yeah, that's right.
I'm glad you finally got to play it. I like when you sat down at the demo station, you said what you said here. It's like, this has been years in the making, and here you are. You're playing it, which was cool.
Yeah, I just when they first announced it in 2017, like in development, like that was nearly 8 years ago now, and then they like 18 months after that, like, no, we're going to restart again, and like and then we hear nothing for years. Like, is this game even coming out? And it wasn't until mid last year that we saw officially that here it is. Here's what it looks like. So, yeah, pretty cool. So it's coming out sometime later this year, and probably I'm guessing September or October at this rate. So. We don't have too long to wait, and I love that this game is going to be one of the technical showpieces for the Switch too, because I think Retro and what they do is pretty synonymous with their cutting edge and making the most of what they have, and so it's a pretty great candidate for a game to showcase a new console.
Also, I can't tell you guys what mode we played in. I don't know whether it was 120 frames or it was 4K 60.
Performance or quality, yeah, we don't call
Yeah, I asked the staff, they didn't know. So I'm like, well, don't know. My guess that it was 4K 60. I don't think it was 120. But I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, between 60 and 120, I can't really tell the difference. So it's really, if it's locking consistently at 60, I find it really hard beyond that to tell. Yeah,
it just depends how you play it. Like if you're playing on a monitor with the mouse, 120 is going to make a world of difference, because the cursor is able to move so much faster that, like if you swing Samus to the left and to the right, 120 will look fantastic. But even at 60, it will like look a little bit more choppy. But for the most part, if you're using like the analog stick or whatever, like it probably won't make much of a difference to you. Especially us Nintendo gamers, like we got no idea what 120 is, It's never been a thing that's been.
That's right.
It has never been close to coming out anyone's mouth. So that's why it was so surprising when they sort of went into the detail about like what the Switch 2 screen can do. It's like 120. Huh, interesting. If then they're actually showing it like Mario's jumps and how many more frames can fit in each jump and all that. It's like, oh, well, there you go. I hope we see that often, but don't think we will. Maybe. But
maybe.
Let's talk about Dragon Drive, Josh. I really enjoyed my time with Dragon Drive. And when we first saw it at the Nintendo Direct, I thought it looked like a lot of fun. Just like a really unique method of controlling the game was really cool. It's just we've got a lot of questions about the content of the game, the price of the game, the characteristic of the game, just being very like just similar looking faceless people, in the wheelchairs, not looking like they have like a lot of customization and things like that. There's a lot of questions when it comes to that side of the game, and if it has legs going forward. That was an unintentional pun. I'm sorry about that. I really didn't mean that. I really,
No,
really
no,
didn't mean
no.
that.
You're a bad person. I feel bad. Feel bad about that. Come on. Jeez.
Anyway,
Bit of a
fuck.
Freudian slip there if I've ever heard one.
Yeah,
Come on.
I don't know. But as far as actually playing the game, it was a lot of fun. Like obviously the setting for us helped. We had like a demo station set up with like 3 TVs on each side, so 3-on-3. It was we could look over and see our teammates and all that. It was obviously set up like it was a good situation for that game, and we start off in a bit of a tutorial, like swipe this Joy-Con to move this wheel, then do both at the same time to move forward, and this is how you throw, and like it was very slow, just slowly showing us the ways of getting into it. And it's funny for like people like us, Josh. Like we've watched that much footage of these games. Like this isn't the first time we've like, watched somebody play this. So I sort of just like started doing it straight away and just like trying to like work it out for myself rather than do it a little bit at a time. And the person behind me, like the Nintendo stuff's like, oh shit, you're getting the hang of this pretty quick. It's like, yeah, I've watched it. I've watched it a fair bit. But like playing the game, like once the actual game started, I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought like just a different way of being able to get around that court, and it's not as easy as just moving a control stick. Like there is fun in like, oh shit, I accidentally like did like an extra swipe on one hand and now I'm like turned the wrong way. Like there is a bit of fun to that, which is pretty cool. And the shooting feels pretty good too. Like I do like how it is just lifting, because like I automatically have like the desire to hold in like left trigger or right trigger or whatever hand I'm shooting with to shoot. Like I've got like an automatic, like maybe like Wii bowling or something where you've got to like hold in the B button to like engage the throw and let go. Like I've got like there's an inherent sort of thing like that. So I was like messing up my shots by like pressing the button, but it's just like, it is very natural just to be like swiping forward. You're in front of the goal. You just lift up and do a little wrist flick, and it goes in. And like, there's some more tense situations where like I haven't lined up the shot very well at all, so I'm like going for it, and I'm like on the far side of the court. I can't see the goal, and I didn't really know how to pass to teammates and stuff. So I'm like, I just have a shot. And I'm like going, and I just have a shot. I can't even see the goal, and it goes in. I'm like, cool. Like I don't know. It just felt really fun to play. I don't know. So I'm kind of jazzed about it. If I've got some mates who I can have a bit of a lobby with in game chat, and we're throwing hoops together and doing all that, and I'm sat at my desk, and I'm like got my mouse pad and everything, I think it'll be a lot of fun. I kind of can't wait for it. But yeah, there's just a lot of questions when it comes to price and everything that I mentioned before. But how was your time of the demo, Josh? Did you have as much fun as me, or you were a little bit standoffish on it?
No, I was keen to see what would make this game work. And yeah, like you definitely need the tutorial. You need to sort of get used to how it works. And, yeah, like you said, we had these big mouse pads in front of us. We had a lot of space, had to put the wrist straps on, and you're kind of grinding into the mouse pad, moving it around. I've had a mate at work who's tore his Achilles, and so he's been wheelchair bound. And so the other week I was using his wheelchair, and I was like, using those same motions. And so I was thinking about, okay, how I moved around in that and applying to to the Joy-Cons. And, it's the same thing effectively. And so, so that was cool. And so, yeah, getting actually to play the game, do the 3v3. You were carrying us for sure, Drew. I was, I was kind of had my head in the clouds a bit, and
I was getting really into it. I was like, "Come on, boys, get back in defense! What are you doing?"
I didn't quite know the controls, and I wasn't defending at all. I was just there for the glory, and I wasn't getting any. But it was fun. It was just like, okay, like I want to get better at this. I want to like try and master like how to move around and break on a corner, break on a coin a bit more. To get around and then get the shots in. And so I can see this being like a fun little game you can play with your friends. And so I came away from it thinking, okay, like that's fun, but also at the same time worried that, if that's the only mode and, Nintendo's going to charge us up the wazoo to play it, I'm pretty worried about how this game's going to resonate and sell and get that wide mainstream sort of talking about. And so, we've only seen this one mode. We don't know what the price is. We know it's coming out in summer this year, so winter for us in the southern hemisphere. So I really hope they price it on the lower end and try and get some people in and create a bit of buzz. And so I'm thinking this is an August or September game. I think September, just with how their seasons work, because it's September 21st is still summer for them. That's when it changes. And so, I'm cautiously optimistic that, this could be a fun time. If there's a few other things you can do in it, that might be good as well. But, if they're charging us $80 for this, I just can't see how that's going to be worth it.
Yeah. It is a tough sort of thing to ask from people because, I think like the gameplay, like the unique way of controlling it felt a lot of fun.
It's very unique.
It was very unique, a lot of fun. Like I'm all about these sort of weird ways of controlling games. Like, I want the arcade stick. I want the wheel. I want all the things to make like games feel different from one another. So just the fact that this utilizes like a control scheme that no other game's done. Like, no game on PC has given you two mice. I'm like, oh, control this wheelchair, at least from what I understand anyway. So let alone with like lifting up to like have a shot at, on goal and all of that. So yeah, a very unique game. It's just how they got to price it. Just Nintendo prices plus, no other information about the game. It's a little bit worrying. Like, what is the best case situation for this game? Is it that it's priced at $80 and it has a lot of content, or that it is just bare bones and it is a very cheap game, like even $20 Australian? But even that, like it's still competing with free to play games and everything. Like it's tough. Like,
correct.
If we're looking for a fun night to play with three people, I think most people are just going to be like, all right, I'll just go and download Fortnite, and you're going to have a really good night playing with mates. Like it's tough. It's like we're seeing a lot of companies try to jump into like the multiplayer space, or I guess like the online service game. Like a game like, for example, from PlayStation with Concord, they were charging $60. It had like a lot of production value put into it. There's a lot of game there, and there's a big roadmap, and people didn't give a shit about it. So like,
yeah,
what's this wheelchair basketball game got going for it, apart from just that really unique sort of control scheme, which I feel like a lot of people just look at it and go, ugh, motion controls, and look away as well. So that might even be like a deterrent for some people as well. So I don't know.
It's tiring as well, like having to do that for a long time. It takes it out of you. And so I don't know how like long of a session people would want to play this for.
Yeah, that's true too.
Like, I'm kind of done here. So I kind of want it to be a bit like of a smaller game, a bit shorter, like lower on the price range area, just to sort of get the people in. If this is an NSO exclusive or something, I think that'd be great. If that's a way for them to sell NSO.
Oh, that'd be wonderful.
That'd be awesome.
We just know it won't, because like, do you remember like a couple of years ago with like the 1-2 Switch sequel, Everybody 1-2 Switch? That went through that went through hell and high water to come out, and that just makes sense to be like, all right, it's a game that is just multiplayer centric, and it has like a big online mode. It's kind of like just eat your loss, and instead of people being like, oh look, I don't want that, and just it flopping, why not make it a part of the subscription service and, make it a bigger thing? And they didn't do it for that. So the idea of them doing it for this is...
I heard they considered it for that game, but chose not to.
Yeah. And for Everybody 1-2 Switch as well, you can kind of... They might have thought that it wasn't good enough for exposing that many people to it. So there is that aspect to that as well. But yeah, I think like a couple of these games, like if they... Like their subscription service, it is like about the classic games, which are fantastic. We all love NSO for playing all of those Nintendo games, but also maybe having like 3 online games that are like just for people to subscribe and play with their friends straight away. And this could be a fantastic addition to that. Be like, hey, look, on your Switch 2, if you have a Nintendo Switch Online, you can do all this stuff. You can play, retro games with your friends, obviously online with Mario Kart. But we've also included some online experiences in the subscription service, like Drag and Drive, where, like, there's unique controls. It's wheelchair basketball. Have at it. Have fun with your friends. Maybe like just with maybe like a friend leaderboard, something simple like that.
Yeah.
And I think that'll be great. Whether that's included or at a very affordable price, I think would be great as well. But yeah, when we're getting into these bigger price brackets, where it's like, all right, so you kind of, in some ways, it's kind of adding content for content's sake. Like, we don't really need much more than it. It just needs to be the fun multiplayer experience. Like, we don't really need like single player. We don't need, like trick shot mode, or we don't need that stuff. Yeah, it's just like how they.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah, it's just like them trying to justify it in some ways. But yeah, we're gonna find out. Like maybe at a direct, or maybe a bit more of an information dump in the next couple of months.
We're getting a direct later in June, late June or early July. That's
probably
that's a given, I reckon. It's they're gonna like tell us the next things, and we'll get a price if there is one, a release date, and I just it just has to be on that lower end, more accessible. If it's an NSO tie-in, I just think that's be a great way to sort of tout that service as well.
Because even like a cheap game for Switch too, like a $60 game, like we're talking about Concord and Helldivers, and games that are on the PlayStation side of things, like what they're doing, like $60 even for this too is going to be a hard sell. Like would you get it for $60?
I'd think about it. There needs to be more content than what's being offered.
Yeah, because I feel like. So like
from what I've seen,
I probably feel the same as you, where it's like, oh, $60 is still $60. So it'd be hard to sort of part with it. As much as I loved it, I had so much fun with it. But then also like trying to get a third person for your team as well, and then like how many people are going to be online? Like, it's just from a business point of view for Nintendo. I'm very interested in it just to see what they do, because I'm here for it. The experience was fun. I want more of it. But how are you going to justify it and make it make sense for both Nintendo and for us purchasing the game? But yeah, we'll find out. But good impressions anyway. Getting my hands on with it. All right. So what else should we do? Should we do Donkey Kong, Josh?
Donkey Kong. DK.
Obviously probably the second biggest game in the whole place after Mario Kart World. What were your thoughts on Donkey Kong Bonanza?
I mean, I got the controller, started playing. I just started smashing everything I could. I just went bunter with it for 2 minutes straight, just like up and down, like just shoot, like punching through things, breaking it. This is going to be a massive collectathon. It's got DK64 vibes with that kind of stuff. I feel all over it. Very satisfying breaking through and getting making your own sort of terrain, and you open up the map and you can see, there's the damage I've done. There's my art on display right there, and so I enjoyed that. We don't get a lot in this demo. We you got that main tutorial bit, and then you get to the outside area, and then if you dig down too much to the next sub layer or sub level, the demo cut out, and so it's just a bit of a taste. And so I first thing was there a sprint button? Because I felt that sometimes I wanted to go a bit faster when I was moving around. I don't think there was when I asked the staff members.
Yeah, I don't think there is. I think Donkey Kong just runs how he runs. He moves fast, but yeah, I can see a desire for a dash or something like a lot quicker.
Yeah, just something a bit faster. It was satisfying. I can't remember the name, but the explosive rocks that you would pick up and throw, and how you can sort of interact with the surface doing that. So, I feel like we know so little about this game still as well.
We do,
this is 2 months away, and we really don't know a lot about it. So, we either need a direct for it very soon, or they're going to do it just after the launch of Mario Kart and the Switch 2. So, it feels like an Odyssey game as well when you're collecting those few bananas and the animations of it. So it does feel like it's the same team doing it. yeah, I just want to know more. I've just had it was just a little taste we got, so I want to see more of it.
Yeah, you say about the Odyssey team, like the Tokyo team that made Mario Odyssey. I was thinking like I think that's the obvious answer. Like, oh look, 3D platformer. I guess like the Mario team was making it up, but I am wondering like if it's not them, who is it? Like, I dare say that like the technology or whatever could move from like from that team to another Nintendo team. I was thinking about like next level. Do you reckon next level games who make the Luigi's Mansion games? Do you reckon they could be behind this at all? I don't know. There's no signs or anything, but I'm just like,
I mean, it's possible. I mean, I just would think that after selling 15 million units, Nintendo would be like, please make Luigi's Mansion 4 for us, please. And that's what they're working on
100%. I agree.
right now. So I just,
I think it is too, but
I mean, it's possible, but yeah, I wouldn't put my money on it.
yeah, I don't know. Because there's a part of me that's either like, I really do hope there's a 3D Mario in the pipeline like next year. So I'm like, oh, maybe there's a bit of copium for me. Like, or maybe someone else made this one. Because like honestly, for me, I don't need a Luigi's Mansion 4. I'll play it, but I'm like, I don't need it. I'm not really aching for one at all. So like, yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, like like we want this. Like if this has come at the slight delay of a new 3D Mario, this has got to sort of be very good, doesn't it? Because Odyssey was amazing and an amazing 3D platformer. So there's a high bar here for this DK game, if that is the case, if it's the same developers.
Yeah, the reviewers that play this game are going to be just glued to those credits when they finish this game. Like, all right, who made this goddamn thing? Like, it'll be very interesting because yeah, we'll get that information before the game comes out because like reviewers will make it into a like a news headline like My Nintendo News and IGN and all that will be like, oh look, this is who made the game, and it's kind of annoying, but that has to be the thing now. Like, who made the game? We've got to sort of figure it out from the credits, but we're in the place where we are. But yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it because like you played it for a little bit and just how these demos worked out. We had like a 15-minute timer, and when that timer ran out, it just said thanks for playing and kicked you off. But a lot of the time, it's like the demos weren't reset. It's like somebody must have just played like 5 minutes, and then we come along and we play, and it just we cut off short. It happened to Josh with Donkey Kong, and happened to both of us with Metroid. So we played like half the demo, and then it kicked us off. I'm like, all right, well, cool. But then we got to go back and then do the whole thing, which was good. But I was listening to Explosion Network podcast, or Arcade Couch, and Dylan Blight, who we saw there, one of my friends, and he mentioned that he noticed the people that were like leaving the demos early, and he seemed to insinuate that it was like I guess like retail people that weren't really all that interested, because there were people there like from JB Hi-Fi, Harvey Norman, Target, like people there just to like gauge what it is and if it's a product they want to stock. So I think it was like people like that, and maybe some influencers that were there for like, hey look, I'm touching the Switch too, and don't really care about it. So maybe there was like a few people like that. But like for you and I, we were not leaving a demo before we were physically kicked off of it.
I was just trying to get we were trying to get every piece of juice out of the demo we could, and we were one of the last people to leave. Like it was literally just us and maybe one or two people by the end of the time.
Yeah, that was really weird, wasn't it? It was like, really? I guess
I just I couldn't. Yeah, I mean, some people were ready and had to move on, but we were like, no, this is where we want to be, and you're gonna have to drag us out.
Yeah. I would have stayed there another 4 hours if they let me, but I wasn't going to pay all those staff over hours. So
yeah, they were making good money that day for not doing a lot. I'm sure they made up for it the next two after.
Yeah, I'm sure they did when the public came in. But yeah, I really enjoyed Donkey Kong as well. But I think for me that I was a little bit saddened by the fact that it gave me really bad motion sickness. And this is something I talked to Josh about on the day. But like at the demo, there was like a little stool in front of the TV. So I just sat where the stool is, and it was pretty close to like the 42-inch TV or 48-inch TV. And like, yeah, after playing, like when I started, since we have this time limit, we start off underground. I just like smash. I was like kind of speed running just to so I could see as much as possible. So that's like a lot of smashing So like Donkey Kong's just going nuts on my screen. So I don't know whether it's because I was going a little bit too haywire, or I was too close. I ended up moving back because I got to move back, especially when I found out like, oh, I'm getting a bit woozy and a bit sick from this. And it was interesting because I was listening to another podcast. I think it might have been Nintendo Drive, might have been Ryan Turford, I think, from the Vancouver event. I think one of the staff might have mentioned to him before he played, like, oh, do you get motion sickness? And he said no and whatever and just went on with it. But I thought that was interesting. I remembered him or whoever it was saying that. Because yes, it did make me motion sick. Like whether it was just the circumstances, maybe it was the game and the frame rate, maybe it was me being a little bit too close, maybe it was me not feeling all that good on the day, not drinking enough water because I certainly didn't. There's a few aspects there, but yeah, I left it being a little bit concerned. Like, oh, I've never had to miss out on a first party Nintendo game because it made me sick. Like it's just never been a thing. There's been a few VR games where I take it off and I'm sweaty and I'm like, I feel like I'm about to I just need to lay down. So I've had it with VR, but it was really weird. Just playing like Donkey Kong. I feel like it was just like, it's got a really crazy camera and maybe the frame rate fluctuates a fair bit. And when Donkey Kong's smashing, it's just, I don't know.
There's definitely times when you're a bit confused where you're going and the camera's not quite keeping up and you're kind of like, I can see how that can be a bit discombobulating, confusing. I thankfully didn't get the motion sickness, so I'm glad that's not the case for me. But yeah, I can definitely see how people could get it just from that game. It's different, the viewpoint and how you move around compared to other games.
Yeah. No, like I was like maybe halfway through my demo, I'm like, I just had to sort of power through it. If I was just sitting at home or whatever, I'd put the controller down and just take a breath and all that. But I was playing the demo. I'm like, well, this is my time with Donkey Kong Bonanza. Like, this is like one of the most exciting games here. Like, obviously from first party Nintendo. So I'm like, I just sort of powered through it. And I was like when I finished, I'm like, oh, kind of relieved in a way. Like I can have my rest now. So yeah, like, whether when it comes out, maybe my TV settings is set properly for how I want to play and it doesn't affect me, or in handheld mode, it might work a bit better for me, not being such a big screen. Just playing in handheld might work better for me. Might even get better performance in handheld mode, potentially, because it's not as high a resolution, so that fluctuation in frame rate won't be as extreme. So yeah, I'll be experimenting with it. But yeah, how we played it at the demo was a little bit concerning for me because it took me like a little while to get over it too. I was sort of like, just in a bit of a breath, but.
I mean, thankfully, it was towards the end of the session, wasn't it? We kind of looped around, did some other things before we did get to DK.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm looking forward to playing it. But yeah, I'm just like a little bit more nervous about it, just for me personally. And if you're somebody who's like subject to getting a bit motion sickness, just
we were pretty close to it as well, weren't we? Like you at one stage moved your stool back a little to get further away from the TV. So I think that might have had a bit to do as well.
Yeah, I think so. It definitely didn't help. Anyway, being close to a big TV screen, just Donkey Kong just going like nuts on the ground, smashing everything. I'm just like, yeah. Because we probably would have been like as close as we are to like a computer monitor, like we're pretty close. Maybe like.
Yeah, I wouldn't sit that close to a TV that size.
No, I wouldn't either. Yeah. So yeah, I hope that maybe that was it. But yeah, certainly it didn't help. But it was cool just like smashing down and being like, there's a banana here. Cool. And you get it and Donkey Kong does a little animation like, ooh, banana. And
banana.
Yeah. And like he's just going around looking for bananas and
love hearts in his eyes. He's looking at the banana. It's great. It's
it's going to be great. Yeah. I think the only concern is maybe that frame rate and until we find out more information. But yeah, it's probably like the one game there, like especially first party, where it's like, there's a bit of different frame rate here because the game is just doing so much just with like the physics and smashing that terrain.
You can tell, the destruction of the terrain plays little with the quality of what you're seeing.
Yeah, especially
but that's fine.
Yeah, especially when it's like talking about like frame rates and everything. Like this game is not utilizing the power of the Switch 2 for any of that. It's just like it's all about smashing this stuff. It's all about like the gameplay of like exploring this terrain, which is pretty cool. But yeah, we'll find out more information as we get closer to launch, which is actually relatively close as well, really, which is interesting.
Yeah.
All right, Josh, let's talk about our time with Mario Party Jamboree plus Jamboree TV Nintendo Switch 2 edition. I don't know if I got that right, but it's along the right length anyway. But yeah, what did you think of Jamboree TV? We started off with three mouse games out of 6. We got to play a few of the new games that utilize the mouse controls before moving over to the camera section where we got to scream and jump around like a bunch of misfits. So yeah, what did you think about Jamboree TV? I actually haven't played Mario Party Jamboree yet. So I haven't even played like the base game. So I'm interested to hear what you think about like the new package.
Yeah, so we got to see your Jamboree TV, and so it's pretty much mini games with mouse controls, and then we got a section using the camera, and so they were pretty fun. The mouse control games, I thought there was one we had to spray paint some bob-ombs, and it was 2v2. There was like an air hockey. You had to use the mouse to move the thing you hold to move the puck around.
Yeah.
And then there was like a obstacle course you had to move around with the mouse as well. And I thought they were really fun and a great utilization of the actual unique controller scheme. So I think there was 6 in total we had to choose from. I think we played 4 of them. So yeah, I was pretty sold on it. Like this is, they call it the biggest Mario Party ever, and I think it is. And now it's just even bigger with this Jamboree TV DLC added onto it. So I'm keen to get this when it comes. It comes a week after DK, which I think is pretty funny on the 24th of July. So you kind of bang in the month of July. You got all those things to play later on in the month. So that was fun. And then obviously we've talked about the camera and the microphone inbuilt into that, where we had to yell and get our voice as loud as possible. But we also had it was like a coin block. We had to try and hit as many times as possible. So we're like jumping up and down. I'm doing like double fists trying to hit the coin block as many times as possible. And then the other one was we had to move around and balance Goombas on a plate, didn't we? So
I was so bad at that.
And we kind of had to, I was not paying attention. The game started and I kind of had a Goomba slide to a slant early on. I still somehow managed to come second, even though my build of Goombas wasn't very sturdy from the looks of it. But
I was so bad at it. I got one Goomba on my head. I was awful.
Yeah. But I was pretty impressed by the camera because the camera's small, but it was placed in the middle, and there was 4 of us, and we're probably like 2.5 meters across, and the camera's able to pick up everyone, is able to segment them into their section, and able to pick up everyone's controls of jumping around and the mug of our heads. I think it's pretty impressive and cool that it just picks it all up and knows where everyone is.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of footage of the camera, so I guess I knew what to expect as far as like it cutting you out in that. But yeah, I think it was actually all standing 4 in a row, using that wide angle lens to fit you all in and cut you out and put you into like the actual game itself, popping you both out the pipe, and you go do your little victory dance or whatever, and you pop down the pipe.
Yeah, that's right.
As you go in. It's it's just fun to watch. If you played PS2, like the iToy, you know what to expect. The iToy did all that.
We mentioned the iToy, didn't we? Yep.
Yeah, it's funny because you mentioned you're like, oh, it's a bit like the iToy or whatever. I'm like, Josh, you can't say that here.
You're not allowed to say that, Josh. yeah, that's true.
You can't say that because
that was 20 years ago, Josh.
Yeah, because if you look at Super Smash Bros, he's like, oh, where's Cloud from? He's like, he's from Final Fantasy VII. It's like, oh, what console was that on? And that's when they slit your throat. You can't ask those questions. You can't ask those questions.
You can ask.
That's stuff on the other side. You can't talk about that.
That's not true anymore because you can play Final Fantasy VII on Switch and Switch 2 soon, very soon.
That's right. Very soon.
Very soon.
Not soon enough though. I don't know when it's coming out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think out of the Mario Party Jamboree, the most excited one the thing I was most excited to play was the air hockey. And that's purely because the idea of just using mouse controls for your puck, I was like, That's really cool. I really like the idea of playing air hockey, kind of like you would just hold an air hockey puck or handle or thing. What do you
Yep.
what do you call it? I don't know.
Yep.
You don't hold the puck, but you hold the bat. I don't know. What do you
I don't know
call
what
it?
it's called. Yep. Yep.
That's a
Yep.
good
The
question.
thing you hold.
But yeah, because like there's air hockey in a lot of games where you can use the control stick, you can use a touch screen, but you haven't really just been able to use a mouse. I'm sure there's air hockey on PC. I'm sure I could go and find a free version to go and download or on Steam. I'm sure it's there somewhere, but it's something that I've never really thought about doing. But the idea of Switch, like a Mario Party minigame where it is like play air hockey and it's got a Koopa shell as the puck. And then as we were playing, like it was getting more chaotic. They were adding more Koopa shells and eventually got to the point where there was Koopa shells everywhere. They were going in each end. We could barely stop them and it was just chaotic. And there was four of us all over the puck and working out who was defending and who was attacking and trying to work together while all this was going on. We're all just laughing. It was really cool. So that was like a great use of the mouse controls. So that was my favorite. I would love just like to play air hockey by myself against the CPUs. I could see myself just doing that for like a little bit. Is it like tabletop mode? Just like, all right, I'm gonna. This is my night. I got a cup of coffee and I'm playing air hockey with this
There you
shell. Yeah, so I really like that. I quite like the one we played at the end too, Josh. Just in that segment, just holding the toad with the mouse and getting through that sort of the obstacle course, holding the toad where it's like you can't touch the edges, otherwise you'll be electrified. That was interesting as well. That was fun. It was interesting just in that situation too, because it's obviously like a fun setting where you're playing these games together, but it's a little bit tense. You got like you're concentrating, making sure you don't touch the edges. Then like when you finally got to the end, you're like, oh, like that was pretty fun. Just like all that tension comes off. Like, finally, I made the obstacle course. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, I like the mouse controls. I kind of like the mouse controls on everything we played. Like when the Switch 2 was just like a rumor that it's going to have mice on the Joy-Cons, I'm like, it's kind of like really. But as like more information's come out, and especially now being able to play it, like everything from first-person shooters to Mario Party to controlling a wheelchair and everything, like it opens up a lot more than you might expect, which is really cool. So I'm really happy just with all that. But yeah, that screaming match we had in front of the camera, Josh, like that's something that I looked at and went, absolutely not. Because like right now, for example, my kids are in bed and when I'm not podcasting, the idea of like talking, I'm like, I don't want any loud noises waking up the kids or whatever. I'm like, so the idea of screaming as loud as you can, I'm like, absolutely not. We're not doing that in this house. But I don't know. In that setting, it was fun purely because we're at like a public event. So, and they're asking us to do it. So it's like, all right.
We'll go with it.
So
yep, sure.
we literally gave it our all, which was so funny. We talked about it at the start, but just screaming as loud as we can. And at this stage, like a lot of people had left. Like there would have been less than 30, I guess, attendees there. And there might have been like 100 Nintendo staff there. Like there was red shirts everywhere. So when we come out, we're in an area that was had soundproofing. So we came out of it and there was one Nintendo staff member just being like, was that you guys screaming back there? Like, and I don't know about you, Josh, but my first reaction is to say like not want to say yes because it's a bit embarrassing. Like, it's a bit anywhere else if we're screaming like that, it's a bit like, what the fuck, boys? But they asked us to do it, and we got like a bit of a clap, which is a little bit embarrassing and a little bit funny at the same time.
Oh, I lapped it up. Standing ovation, everyone's clapping us. I thought it was great. I thought everyone's like paid attention to that because there was nothing else going on. The staff were getting bored at the stalls because everyone had left, and we provided a bit of fun at that last moment of the experience. So, it was funny because we were talking to some of the PR team from Nintendo afterwards, and I said, in any other setting at home, like someone screaming as loud as possible, you're thinking, it's domestic, like something's gone wrong and the police should be called to like to where they are right now. And they're kind of like, that's probably a good point. But Yeah, you're right. It was kind of the perfect situation for it to occur without any concern being had. Yeah, that was one of my favorite moments of the day. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, that'll be the time I'll let it rip as much as I did that day. I got a good recording of us doing it. I showed Chantel because we told my wife about it like after, and like obviously that was one of the standouts for us just because it was like funny. It was just like a really funny thing that we did and that happened. And I showed Chantel the recording and she laughed at it as well. Just like us, like it's not even just being loud because it encourages, it wants you to move as much as possible as well. So it wants you to be as loud and as just in motion as possible, animated as possible. So like Josh is screaming at the top of his lungs and he's like waving his arms and jumping up and down like he's just like
going for it.
The biggest like just yeah, I don't know.
I went
so
for
funny.
It. They told us to. I went for it, and everyone's laughing. And then the staff are like, "Oh, you guys are great. You're the loudest we've had all day." I'm like, "Yeah, good, damn straight."
Yeah. So yeah, we're very proud that we have that title with the loudest people there for the day, and like it's another thing too. It's another one of those things where obviously screaming at a camera, it's like it's not that exciting or unique or whatever, but I can see myself having fun at home with it. Like at first, I was like, definitely not at home. But like if I get my kids to play, obviously Layla's a baby at the moment, but like Lucas is a bit older. I reckon he could get a bit of fun out of it too. I won't go as hard as I did at the event, but I'll give him a little bit of a run for his money type of thing, because he's a young boy that loves making a lot of noise. So yeah, I could see that'd be fun, and he'll get a kick out of seeing himself on the TV and all that too. Like it just I mean, the Switch too, it's just going to be such a fun family console, dude. Like with Mario Party and Donkey Kong and Mario Kart, it's going to be so much fun to have with like small kids. It's going to be so fun. I just can't wait. I can't wait to play it with the family. I can't wait to lock it in my hands by myself. It's going to be great. But
it's going to be good.
But yeah, Jamboree, I'm really looking forward to it. And like the Mario Party's on Switch. I bought Super Mario Party. I'm like, that's fine. I played a couple of rounds and I never played it again. I never played the second one. What was that one? Superstars. I never played Superstars. I do have it, but I never played it. And then Jamboree, I do have that as well. Because I got a code for Jamboree from Nintendo, but I never I never got around to playing it. Came out in a very busy year, and I'm a very single player gamer, so like it didn't really work. But I will say, just like with all the new stuff coming to it, and especially like game chat, where I am able to easily lobby up with people and how the camera integrates into the games like really seamlessly, I'm actually like super excited to play it. I can't wait to like have like some other people and play it that way, because like just the idea how that camera integrates into the game, I'm super excited for it. So this has had me most excited for Mario Party in years. So yeah, I can't wait for Jamboree TV. I'll definitely be getting the upgrade pack and playing that. And I dare say you are too, because you're a big Mario Party head. And I'll be playing with you. Yeah. I'll be playing with you. I don't know, how many multiplayer nights can we have in a week, Josh? Because we have like Mario Kart, Mario Party. I don't know, how many multiplayer matches can we fit into a week?
F-Zero GX on GameCube. We'll be playing that. Don't worry. It will
of course. Happening. Yeah. A good segue too. Let's talk about the GameCube games, Josh. We got the hands-on with the GameCube controller. And the first thing, I just wanted to compare it to an original GameCube controller. I actually brought an original GameCube controller with me, same indigo color as that is provided with the Nintendo Switch Online version. And it feels exactly like a GameCube controller. The only difference really is obviously the buttons on top, but the home menu, the C button, capture, all of that stuff that you would expect. But also the finish of the plastic's different. Like on the original controller, it's like pretty smooth. Whereas I would say like the finish on the Nintendo Switch Online version, it's like a bit more textured, a bit more rough. But yeah, not like what you would expect on the Pro Controller 2. But yeah, it just feels a little bit different. You won't notice it if you don't have a GameCube controller right next to it. But yeah, everything else feels the same though. The sticks, the buttons, the triggers, they got that feeling where they click in. I don't know whether they'll be analog or digital, because their analog on the original GameCube, where you can like lightly press them, like a Mario Sunshine. If you lightly press it, you get a little squirt out of Mario's nozzle. If you hold it right in, squirts right out. I don't know how it'll work like with Mario Sunshine. Will it still be analog controller? Because like every other controller on the Switch is digital, where it is just that one button press. So yeah, we'll find out if we play a game that actually utilizes analog triggers for the future. But one question I wanted answered, but I didn't have answered from any other outlet, was just like, does it have like L3 and R3, like clicky sticks, so the extra button? Like on a PlayStation controller or Xbox, you can like press those sticks in. Like that's your sprint on Call of Duty, for example, things like that. So if you wanted to use this GameCube controller in, say, Call of Duty or like just any other Switch 2 game as a Pro controller, because you probably will be able to use it. I know Nintendo said that you can't, but you can use it just like you can use a Super Nintendo controller to play Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. You're going to be missing some buttons, but it'll work. But yes, it does not have clicky sticks. Like those sticks don't click in. So if you're looking to play it on, maybe like use it as a modern day controller, because you prefer it or whatever, if it utilizes those buttons, you won't be able to use it. But otherwise, it has all the other buttons, including a right bumper, even though it's like a tiny little button. I guess you can still use it. But I guess it will still work for Smash Brothers. And that's the main thing out of these GameCube games that you probably want to use it for. So I don't think it'll make too much of a difference for people buying this controller. But yes, it does not have clicky sticks, which I had no idea whether it would have or not. But so that's my thoughts on the controller. Feels like a GameCube controller. Feels great. I'm looking forward to getting it. I've wanted one for years, where it was like an official Nintendo wireless GameCube controller that works on modern hardware. And I'm very excited to get it. So can't wait for it. But the actual games themselves, Josh, what did you think about playing them? We got to play Mario Strikers and F-Zero, and we watched watched Paul James play a little bit of Wind Waker. So yeah,
yes.
What did you think of the games?
The games were great. Obviously, a lot sharper, crisper. We also had the option of using the CRT filter, which I don't think I really liked in the end. I think I won't bother putting the CRT filter on, and I'll just leave it to the normal mode. But we got to play F-Zero in widescreen, which was great. We got to it looked really snazzy and sharp, and I'm just really like down for this because I've got that big GameCube collection behind me, but this having it on my Switch 2 on the go, and then I've never owned a truly portable GameCube controller before. They've always had the cords in them. I never had a Wavebird, and this will be the first time I ever get to experience that. Also, the controller felt great as well. I agree. The plastic was maybe slightly different, but if I hadn't heard about that prior, I don't know if I really would have noticed. The quality's there, just like the 64, the SNES, and the NES NSO controllers that have come before it. So it is more of the same quality that you should really expect, and it's apparent here again, which is great. So Mario Strikers still stacks up really well. That was a fun time, even though we forgot half the controls and we were trying to work our way into it. That was good fun. F-Zero GX, that's an extreme game. We played just the basic track, but some of those later ones get very, very hard, and that's a great game to master. I love the cutscenes in that game, so really excited to hear other people's experiences of that game for the first time. And then Soul Calibur 2, I was not very good at that, but finally got to play as Link in that game. I've never played that game before, but obviously it was so big back in the day and well known because of Link's appearance in it. So all of that together, I think that's a pretty good launch lineup. I know we're not going to get Strikers straight away, but that won't be far away, I'm sure. Yeah,
I'm keen to do like a few rounds of Soul Calibur 4. Mario Strikers is going to be great to have on Switch too. Like, just fingers crossed that online works well for like GameCube NSO games, like so we can play together. That'd be great. Like, obviously we had Battle League on Switch, but that was a disappointment. So, being able to like put down like even Switch 2 and tabletop mode and be able to play it that way, it's gonna be great. So I'm really looking forward to getting that. That's not at launch like you said, but Man, that can't come soon enough. That's probably the one I'd be most excited to have straight off the bat, to be honest with you.
Yep.
But yeah, what else? Yeah, F-Zero I'm not very good at, but yeah, I would like to play more of it. I've only like dabbled in it because like F-Zero GX, it's very much one of those things, especially on emulation. That is like the thing that tests emulators and hardware the most when you're trying to get GameCube games to work. So like if you're getting F-Zero GX to run at 60 frames a second on whatever hardware you're trying to do, that's usually a good sign that your emulator's set up correctly. So just the fact that that's running like it is straight off the bat, that's good signs for what we're going to get for emulation for the rest of the games, which is great. So I'm happy about that. I was a bit worried because a few weeks ago I was listening to Digital Foundry and they were saying that like the games weren't running very well, like as far as the frame rate goes. And I think like later in their conversation, they sort of worked out is because they're based in the UK. So when they were playing the European version at 50 hertz. So that was a concerning thing for me. It's just kind of like, are we going to be able to swap between the European and North American? Because obviously we want to play North American. Like whenever you're looking at like downloading ROMs, you're getting the North American version because you want to play it at 60 hertz and 60 frames a second. And there was even like, I bought a lot of GameCube games off of somebody who was selling their GameCube collection because they wanted to replace those games with North American versions to play at the better frame rate. Now, I thought that was a little bit extreme to like sell your collection to swap it, because you could just keep your Australian PAL games and just, emulate them or, do something. There's a lot of other ways you can do it. Rather than do that, but that's the extreme that person was going to. So it does make a big difference. So I was happy to see that ours was just default North American, and it looked great. There was no sort of, especially F-Zero, how fast it is. There was no worries about it. Running at 50 hertz or 50 frames a second compared to 60. So it all looked great. And looking over at Wind Waker looked really nice and crisp, which I was excited about. So yeah. It's just a little, I guess with Wind Waker, it's just one of those things where it's like, we've been wanting the Wind Waker HD port for so long and, it never comes. So when we said the GameCube version, I think the GameCube version has its own charm, but there are some quality of life features that be like, the Wii U version would be nice. Like, I guess just like the quick sale. And the main thing is just that Triforce quest towards the end. I think that's the main thing. Like, I can live without everything else. I can even the wide. I think to be honest, the widescreen and the Triforce Quest are like the main things. You probably want like the HD version for, but yeah. I guess we might have to put up with these if you want to do a playthrough of Wind Waker, because I actually haven't finished it. I haven't finished Wind Waker before.
No, same.
So I want to right that wrong. I don't know where I got up to in the HD version. I don't even know why I stopped playing it, because I wasn't playing anything else on Wii U. Like it wasn't like it wasn't like the next shiny thing came out. So yeah, I don't know what happened. I never got back to it. But yeah, whether I do, because I'm more likely to play the GameCube version on Switch 2 rather than dig out the better looking version on Wii U.
Yeah, that's right. So, yeah, for sure.
So it is what it is, especially with that. Yeah. An actual GameCube controller. Like I like how the UI looks on the GameCube, like just like the big A button, and it's got like represented with like the item. That's I love just the UI of like the GameCube buttons on the screen.
It's funky. It's a part of its time, but anyone who's grown up with it, I think really loves it even more.
Yeah, I think like from a lot of other things I was hearing just from other people's experience with the games, it's just like a lot of the UI elements haven't been up-res compared to the actual game, like the game and the graphics and everything. Looking at it, can't say I noticed or it bothered me. Maybe I just like I've dabbled a lot in GameCube emulation, so I kind of just know what to expect. And yeah, to me this looked good because like I've got like 200 something GameCube games on my Steam Deck, for example. And it looks great on Steam Deck, but it doesn't look as good as the Switch 2's does on the TV, because like the Switch 2 uses DLSS and everything to up-res it and all of this stuff, whereas the Steam Deck, it doesn't have that. It just outputs it to 1080p or whatever have you. It still looks good, but yeah, the Switch 2 has a lot of advantages when it comes to like docked gameplay on the TV. So yeah, I don't know. It's all looking very good. I just hope that release cadence isn't excruciating. Because it showed us all of those games that are coming out. Like we see Fire Emblem, the couple of Pokemon games, all of this. But that might...
be ready to wait. Be ready to wait.
Yeah, I am ready to wait. I know. That's going to be like 2 or 3 years worth of their release cadence, which is kind of scary because there's a lot more games, like especially Super Smash Bros. Melee. We don't even have the Nintendo 64 Smash Brothers, let alone Melee and Double Dash. You know, there's still a lot of games that I want to play on it. The Star Fox games. So yeah, I don't know. There's a fair bit. And
a lot of good stuff on there.
Yeah, I hope like a little bit of third party stuff comes out. Because like for example with PlayStation, Disney are really working really closely with PlayStation to release like classics on PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2. Like there's like the Toy Story games and a lot of Pixar stuff coming out for it. So even like stuff like Finding Nemo and stuff like that came out on those consoles at the time would be kind of cool, like just to get that. I don't want that stuff in place of like I said, Super Smash Brothers and all of that that first party stuff to come out. But I think it'd be cool just to sort of juice it up with some third party games like that, which would be kind of cool because like even though it might not be the best games, just the idea of like 2003 Finding Nemo and some of those other properties,
all the movie tying games,
Yeah, it's just like it's a little bit nostalgic, just in a completely different field to me. I never played the games, but yeah, don't know, just other ways of getting more stuff into the GameCube library, just because they're only limited to so much when it comes to first party Nintendo stuff. Like it has a good library, but it's not the biggest one. It's a bit like Nintendo 64, but yeah. Yes. So is there any other first party games we've got to talk about? I think that might have been it. I'm looking at the list here now. Oh, we got the Zelda games. So we got and Kirby. We didn't actually play Kirby. I think Kirby was like the one first party game we didn't play, and that's purely just because like we looked at it just walking past, and like it's one of those things we don't need. We didn't really need to play, and we didn't have that. We sort of ran out of time as well. Like we would have played it if we had the time, but that was the one thing we missed. But like it's Kirby running at 60 frames and 1440p with some extra content, which when it comes out, I'll definitely be playing it. But don't know. I don't know if I'll have much to say about it anyway.
I was at least curious about it. I loved Forgotten Land.
For sure.
One of my favorite Kirby games. But yeah, just I'd seen the Treehouse, kind of knew what to expect out of it, and then we just had run out of time, so it's just one first party that we missed out on.
Yeah. But we did play Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. What did you think of these games? They're getting a Switch 2 edition, so better performance, better resolution, as well as like some content when it comes to using the mobile phone companion app, which we didn't get to use, but they did sort of display it just on a TV on the side, the companion app. But we just got to play the game and see how the performance improved things. But yeah, what did you think? Did it strike you at all, or did it just look good and you can't really tell the difference? Or what did you think?
It looks a lot better and a lot more fluid. So that was great. And it was odd being, the demo was just like you're getting plonked like in moments in time through different save files. So I got to load different ones and play around with it a bit. But I kind of felt a bit like I don't quite know what to do. So I was just looking around, just seeing how different it looked. So it definitely looks a lot better. Tried to get to Korok Forest, but I wasn't really near it in any of the load states that were provided. So that, and then not being able to access, obviously, the phone app that accompanies the new updates. It was just a little bit of, okay, it looks a lot better here, but I haven't seen enough of the new stuff here. Which I will check out because it's a free update for me with having NSO and buying the original games. So, I'm keen to check out a bit more of that, and especially with the feature where you can build, share other people's builds.
Yeah,
and the ones that are really good at designing stuff. I want to try that out and go crazy with that.
Yeah, I want to use someone else's instruction booklet. Like I use the bare minimum getting through Tears of the Kingdom, so I'm very excited to be like, all right, you guys on Twitter and TikTok and that building these big contraptions. I'm going to look at your blueprints and I'm going to bring them over to my game. I can't wait for that stuff. It's going to be great.
That's right.
But my experience with Tears of the Kingdom was just checking out the screen of the Switch 2, and it looks great. 1080p, running on the handheld. Can't wait to play that. Tears of the Kingdom, one of my favorite games. Can't wait to go back to it, running how it does. But then I played Breath of the Wild on the TV, and you can select from a bunch of different save states. So I selected one that was in Hyrule Field, and I ended up just like, there was a bunch of Guardians around. So I'm like, I haven't done this in years, beating up a Guardian. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to go and smash this Guardian. So I run up to it on a Pono, hit it in the eyeball with the bow and arrow, jump off, hack off its legs, kill it, explodes. I'm like, this felt so good. I actually can't wait to jump back into my save file and just do some things in both games and clear up some stuff. Because Breath of the Wild, I've got a whole DLC I don't think I've finished. I don't know how much of that DLC I played, so I'll go back. I never got that bike. So that's pretty cool. I mean, the bike looks kind of tame compared to what I've been doing in Tears of the Kingdom, I guess. So, but yeah, I'm very excited to play these games how they are, because they looked really nice. While riding opponent in Hyrule Field in Breath of the Wild, though, there still was that load-in of bushes and things ahead of you, so it hasn't fixed that. But just as far as the resolution goes and frame rate, looked great. But yeah, it did still have load-in and stuff as far as stuff off in the distance. So it hasn't fixed that. So it hasn't completely changed the game. It's not oh my god, but just those two major things, it looks better. But yeah, when I jump back into it, Josh, I'm like, how do I do how do I parry with my shield again? I could not find it.
Yeah, I forgot everything as well.
Yeah, so that was tough. I am frustrated with myself as well, because I've been very vocal about how bad the Switch Pro Controller's D-pad was. And there was no 2D platform or anything to really test it through its paces. But in these Zelda games, when you bring up the items with the D-pad, I should have done it then. Because I saw a headline today that somebody at one of these Switch 2 experiences basically came out and claimed that the D-pad was fixed because they mucked around with it in these Zelda games in the menu and it didn't do false inputs. I'm like, I should have done that. I examined the D-pad quite a lot. It felt a bit different, maybe a little bit clickier, but pretty similar, maybe a bit flatter in some ways. But I did put my thumb down at on the very bottom of it and rock it, and it did rock side to side still. But yeah, somebody's claiming that it's been fixed and it doesn't do false inputs like the first Pro Controller did. So I'm like, I should have done it myself. I didn't think about doing it in Zelda. I was just beating up Guardians, and I was using the items and things. I went to my bow and arrow and everything, and yeah, no, I missed that opportunity. That's the one thing I'm like, I should have done that. A little bit frustrated with myself but
yeah,
it is what it is. But yeah, I guess we got Welcome Tour. So we played Welcome Tour for a little bit. We are just oh yeah, pretty much. And I think we've already talked about the HD Rumble. So yeah, that was the main thing. I started doing the frame rate mini game, and then it cut me off because somebody must have jumped out of their session. They didn't do the full 15 minutes with Welcome Tour. They must have got bored. And I don't know. I didn't have a reason to jump back into it either. I think the best thing about the demo, Josh, is that it was set up in tabletop mode, and you could take the Joy-Cons on and off, and you could take the wristband little contraption on and off as well. That's kind of the best thing about it.
Yeah, I played 10, 15 minutes of it, and I've got what I needed out of it, and I have no need or inclination to buy this. I think I know what it is. I can watch some videos. I really wanted to see the extra stuff that happens, but in terms of the mini games or the tech demos and the info about the Switch 2, I don't need to spend my $15 on this.
Yeah, no, I feel the same way. There's part of me that really wants to because I'm sort of planning out my Switch 2 launch day. I get home, go to EB Games in the morning. I get home, unbox it all. I'll probably record an unboxing and stuff. And then I'll start to download Mario Kart World. That's a 23 gig game. So that's going to take at least 2 or 3 hours to download. So that's going to be excruciating. So I need something else to do Whereas Welcome Tour, that's 3 gig. That will download in, don't know, 20 minutes. I don't know, 15 minutes. So part of me is like, maybe download,
Nope.
maybe get
Don't do
like,
it, man.
maybe get something like that to like muck around
Do
with,
it.
tinker, use the mouse mode, do all that while Mario Kart's downloading. Because like other stuff that I'm getting on launch day, like
NSO.
yeah, that's obviously the better option. But even the GameCube games, man, they're gonna be a decent little download. So yeah, I don't know. I'll have to look into the size of the GameCube game app. Actually, it's probably a much better option. But yeah, but I'm pretty much just saying, but that's the reason why I would even consider picking it up. But I really want to not get it in just in protest, if anything. Just like
Yeah, that's half of it as well. I don't want to support this. Yeah, it should be a packing game.
yeah, like if we get it, it will be like a review code, and we'll
Yes.
probably tell you the exact same thing after we've finished it. But like, look, not worth your $15. I could probably tell you that now, but maybe things will change if we do get a review code and play it. I don't know, but yeah, we'll find out.
Correct.
But yeah, before we finish off, Josh, just like the third party games. What did you think about like third party games? We played Street Fighter 6. We played It Takes Two. You played Cyberpunk. What were your sort of? Actually, I played Civ 7 as well. So, what were your thoughts on third party games? 'Cause I had fun with a couple of them, which I'm pretty excited to pick up myself. But what did you think?
Yeah. I think the main one for me was just seeing how Cyberpunk worked on Switch 2, how it ran. Having played it on the PS5 for like 10 hours or so, kind of got a decent idea of what it looks like and runs. And so, obviously it doesn't look as good as that, but I thought it ran pretty well. And so I was pretty impressed with the overall performance of it. So, if you never played it on PlayStation or another console before, this is a good option for you if you want it to be something a bit more on the go. So, so that was great. So that ticked it off for me, but I don't know if I'm going to get it anytime soon. It might be one of those games later down the line I check out. But for the other third party stuff, saw a bit of Hogwarts Legacy. I just tried that out a little. Didn't impress me too much or anything like that. Looked a bit jaded still. And then playing a bit of Street Fighter 6 with you was a bit fun and a bit crazy, just manically shaking the Joy-Con around. So that was a funny moment as well.
Yeah, that was fun. Like Street Fighter 6, this was a game that I decided that I wanted on Switch too. So I was just like, all right, so what does that actually look like when I'm playing it in person? You can tell that it's like that the graphics aren't as sharp as like the other consoles, but it still looks really nice, especially like Street Fighter 6. Just it's got like a really nice visual flair to it. So it still looks good, and in handheld mode, I assume that will look really good as well when the screen's a bit smaller. But the only option we had to play was cardio mode, and it's basically a mode where you use the motion controls to move left and right, and then you shake just to do attacks, and whoever basically moves the most pulls off the better attacks. So it's kind of it sounds stupid, and I guess it is stupid, but I thought it was like a fun take of like, if you've got people over and they don't know how to play the game, they're just going to be mushing the buttons on the controller anyway. So you may as well flush it out and make a whole mode just based around that. So like I can sit here and I can learn like all of the moves on my arcade stick, go online or whatever. But if Josh comes over and he's like, dude, I've never played this in my life, he's not going to be like just absolutely lost, not knowing the controls and all of this. But yeah, we can have like a fun gameplay experience together where we're on equal terms and we're just being stupid with one another, just shaking the controller and mashing buttons and all that. And we can still have like an enjoyable time doing that. So I thought it's another one of those things going hands on. I'm like, beforehand I would have been like, look, a mode where you just shake the Joy-Con. Like it sounds dumb, but we were next to each other like, like shaking as much as we can and we're like pulling off like a combo and like a final finisher and stuff.
I didn't know how it happened, but stuff was happening.
Yeah, moves
were being done, but like, okay, yep, I'm just gonna keep shaking.
It's kind of cool. It's kind of like, well, we know that we've got a highly technical game, and people just like, mash buttons to try and make something happen on screen. So let's just make a whole mode about it that works well, taking off the Joy-Cons and playing in tabletop mode if you're out and about and all that. So don't know. I quite like it. I won't be playing it like by myself, shaking the Joy-Con. But yeah, when people come over, I'm like, let's just let's just play Street Fighter 6 and you can shake the thing
Yeah.
and mash the buttons. I think it was pretty cool. So
Might be a fun time.
yeah. So yeah, the game looks pretty good on Switch too as well. So I'm quite happy with that. I'm looking forward to getting that. That's definitely a day one pickup or whenever my internet can handle it. That's after Mario Kart World. We'll see how it goes. Because once Mario Kart's downloaded, I want my internet to be
Just on that.
just working because I want to play online. You know, I want to test the game chat and all that stuff. So there might be a day 2 or day 3 pickup, but we shall see. The other game I played was Civ 7. I've never played Civ in my life. It's a very technical game. I had no idea what I was doing. I wasn't going to like learn the ins and outs while I was sending out a 20-minute demo. But what I wanted to see was just how the mouse controls worked, and it worked well. It's just like a cursor. You're moving it around, clicking on things. I don't know, the graphics and all that looked good to me as well. I've never played it on PC or anything, but to me it looked like I would want it to look. And the mouse controls worked well. So I probably would like to pick it up. Whether I get it on sale, maybe a little bit later, just because I am unsure for me whether I'll like it. But yeah, it seemed to be a good version of Civ with with mouse controls on console, which is a big thing as well. The only thing is like it was a relatively long load into the match. I don't know if that's like a big load normally on PC or PS5 if you're playing it, but it was a bit of a load. And when I was moving the cursor around, you could see like the cursor lagging. That's just a load screen though. But yeah, I just noticed it being a relatively long load, but it's a pretty technical game, I guess. It's loading up a big match and a big map and a lot of variables and things. So, don't know, wasn't that big a deal, I don't think. But yeah, just something to keep in mind. I've got nothing to compare it to, so I don't know. And yeah, I guess the last game we played, It Takes Two. You could tell this game is running like graphically pretty low on Switch 2. It's a pretty intensive game. It's split screen. There's a lot going on, like differences between each player as well. So like a lot of the resources of the system would be being used elsewhere, but it's very playable. Like, you agree, Josh? Like you and I were playing it.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
Yeah,
definitely.
like, yeah, like personally for me, I bought a copy last week on PS5, just to play it there. It's something that I don't need or want on like handheld. Like I will be sitting at a TV, so yeah, obviously may as well play it on PS5. And I wanted the physical copy, so I didn't want to download code. You know, it's a download code on Switch 2, and it takes up a lot of the hard drive. It's a 71 gig game. That's a lot of resources for my little hard drive on Switch 2. That's like that's coming up to like a fifth of like all of the memory I'm going to have on the goddamn thing. So yeah, a lot of reasons. But yeah, I thought it was a decent way to play it if you want to play it. Like if portable means something to you, like if you want to play it with somebody, like on the bus or something, yeah, perfectly good way to play it, I feel. So yeah, we had fun. Josh was just like killing me though, because he was getting a little bit bored. A little bored in some situations. He would just like kill me. I'm like, oh, come on, Josh, we're meant to be doing the puzzles together. What are you doing this to me?
I was ready to test out the friendly fire, and it worked. And yep, it's good. I had to confirm it.
Yeah, I had to confirm it a few times. Yeah, just like, oh, there's no variables. Make sure there's no variables.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I think that's pretty much everything we played at the Nintendo Switch 2 event in Melbourne, Josh. That was just I really feel really privileged to be, you know, invited to go, and it was really awesome to go hands on with Nintendo hardware early. I've never done that before, especially like early hardware. Never ever done it. I've done it with, you know, a couple of games at PAX, but as far as like an exclusive event goes, like Nintendo held, it was really special. It meant a lot to me to be able to go and to be invited. Just really special, and like, you know, doing this podcast for as long as I've done it, and it's just super exciting to be invited, and hope everybody you know, enjoyed our sort of thoughts on the event. And man, if you don't get the try Switch 2 like until it comes out, you're gonna have so much fun with it. Like it's really sort of made me even more excited about the thing, because like I know it feels awesome. The games are fun, even like the things I said that surprised me. I can't wait to play them now as well. It's all going to be great, potentially. Just that online stuff we'll see. But
Yeah, going to be unreal. Yeah, I really want to thank Nintendo Australia for inviting us over. Yeah, it was pretty phenomenal and a great experience. Got to say hello to some people, Alex Harding of Indie XP as well, and Twitchaboo. Didn't expect to run into him. Saw some other people like Paul James as well, and some other connections were made. So yeah, a great time. Like so much to look forward to with the Switch 2. The console stacks up. It is that next gen iteration that we wanted with the new Switch, and the launch lineup looks really strong, and excited to get my hands permanently on the thing.
Yeah, and like when it comes out, we're gonna have like Summer Game Fest in the States with Jeff Keighley. So hopefully we're gonna see a lot more third-party support ramp up and some more Nintendo games. Like this is only the very start. We're gonna be getting some games that are, I guess like Sonic Generations and stuff. A lot of people have played elsewhere, but going forward, hopefully this console has a successful life, because it's a lot of fun to play. And even somebody like me who like plays a lot on PlayStation, I've got these PC handhelds like the Asus ROG Ally, the Steam Deck. Don't know, this thing, like the Switch has always been special because of its form factor, being that bit smaller, having that better compatibility with your TV and everything. So I'm just very excited to have that back with this performance boost, because the Switch has always had that, but it's just like a lot of games just started not to run that well on it, that were outside of the Nintendo family. So to have all that back with like Street Fighter and I guess to some extent Cyberpunk, but yeah, I'm very excited to have that back again, which is awesome. So bring it on. How do we make time go faster, Josh?
Play some other things.
I am.
Get busy with work.
Yeah.
Go to sleep a lot.
I don't do that so much. I don't go to sleep a lot, especially if I want to play games. And I don't know. I'm playing from still through Expedition 33, enjoying that. But
yeah,
we'll see if I finish that before Switch. Yeah, are you playing it? I don't want to jump to a what are you playing section, but I'm just actually curious. What are you playing at the moment?
Xenoblade X. So I got a scale finally, so I've been playing through that, but I need to watch some more videos and how I can utilize it to the fullest. Yeah, nice.
Well, hopefully you figure it out next week, and I'll ask you all about that, because we've got some role playing games we've been playing through. You've been pretending you're a mech, and I've been pretending I'm a Frenchman.
Yep,
we indeed. So everybody, thank you very much for listening to this episode of The House of Mario. Really appreciate you listening this far. If you've got any more questions about Switch 2 or about our hands-on experience, let us know in the Discord or the YouTube comments. And Josh, your podcast Nintenvania publishes every fortnight. You grab a guest every fortnight as well, and you talk about the world of Nintendo. Obviously, you got a lot to talk about the Switch 2 and everything. What's the next episode going to be about?
So I'll do a little vlog of the Switch 2 experience. I'll have some video footage as well overlaying that. I posted some stuff at the moment on YouTube about the Knockout Tour, so I had some fun on that, as I've talked about on the show, but you can watch the actual race there. By the time next episode's out of the House of Mario, there'll be one of Nintenvania as well.
Bloody beautiful. So inject it into your ears, but not too far, not into your brain. It'll take over. No, don't do that. It'll be like
don't recommend that.
You'll be like a clicker from The Last of Us, but you'll be spurting quotes that Josh said on the podcast.
Hope not.
Don't know. What's a quote you reckon somebody would repeat if they injected the episode too far in?
My name is Josh, or JT if you like. I don't know.
JT if you like. I'm JT if you like. Then like somebody who's running away from the clicker be like, no, not JT, not JT if I like.
I do not like.
I do not like. So I'm just Josh then.
Just Josh then.
Yeah. So yeah.
If you like.
Go and check out Nintenvania and enjoy your life. Enjoy it as much as you can until Switch 2.
Thanks.
Catch you later, everybody. The doors, they're closed.